something new. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, alright, okay, something new for today. Bringing massive values, I would say, in all types of ways. So, what I know is it's time for app number 5, and yeah, I have a good idea. Like I want to do it from basically focus on volatility. Volatility is basically how much the markets are moving, how much the price is moving up and down. Low volatility is if the price, over time is not moving very much. Just kind of like the price is staying the same. High volatility is the price is moving a lot. Right about now, I would say that volatility is more closer to the high side. Um, Depending on the asset, I guess. But yeah, I've been mostly like investing and trading in crypto right now. Stock market stuff has been kind of like just floating at the top. See a lot better opportunities in crypto right now. But anyways, that's something else. I'm really getting into building apps. I'm really getting into trying to teaching people multiple things. Like I started this really just focusing on trying to help people see the journey of a beginner learning to build apps, and starting with simple apps. That's like phase 1 of what I'm doing. 30 apps in 30 days. Maybe it won't be consecutive days, but at least I'm going to be putting out 30 apps and then go from there. Doing finance apps. I understand finance a lot. Understand investing. I want to make apps for beginner investors. So really on this channel right now, you're going to be learning about how to create apps and how to make money. I mean, both, I guess. You can make money with apps too, but yeah, so it's how to make money with finance, especially for beginners. But I mean, it's for everybody. Like, the tools I'm making are for beginners. The tools I'm making with the intention that beginners can understand finance and cut through the hype. A lot of hype out there in the media. A lot of beginners, I feel like the hype from the media is really focused on beginners. Get them to make decisions that might not be the best for them. And what I'm trying to do is educate beginners in the simplest way possible with these apps on how to make money investing. So most expert investors are really going to be learning how to read charts, price charts, and then once they learn how to read the price charts, then they can go and start using investor tools. And then each one of these tools is going to take some time to learn it and understand it, apply it to the charts. But I don't really see anything like, for beginners to, it's either like very simple apps that are like exchanges like Robinhood, where you can go on and kind of just like see the price chart, and it'll give you options to buy different stocks, and maybe they'll have like recommendations. And then from there, there's tools that are very advanced, tools that you can just like set up a bunch of different indicators, technical indicators over charts. So I'm like, yeah, I should do something that can get beginners in to where they don't have to really like learn how to read charts, how these indicators work, and they can just kind of put whatever stock they're looking at in and get information that these indicators would give them at a beginner level. And not only that, but now I'm evolving to see more like, going from these apps being just like a simple feature to adding information on these apps so that people can learn at the same time what they're doing. They're not just like putting in the information and getting an answer. They're getting an answer that comes with education, so that they can basically, as easy as possible, learn investing. And then if they want to take it to a more technical level, that's cool. But I'm thinking like if I make these apps right, like that wouldn't even be necessary. People could just use these, and then over time, they wouldn't even need them anymore. They would be able to just kind of evolve to where they understand it. and every once in a while they might want to like run something through and check something. So that's how it goes. Staying in the flow, being positive. Just checking out, making sure the stream is up and working good. Looks like it's working how it should. And yeah, anybody got any comments, any suggestions? That's cool, and I will address them. And let's see, making sure I got the comments up. Top Chat, what's up, dude? We're getting money over here. We're staying clear of the scarcity mindsets that a lot of people have, and talking about abundance. And mindset is major. Trying to make sure that everybody gets it. Everybody feel free to copy what I'm doing if you want. It's all about having good ideas. In business, you do something good. I mean, from what you see, any new business that comes out and does good on something, there's going to be a bunch of imitators copying them. But I mean, that's part of business. Like, you just learn, and feel free to copy me. There's nothing wrong with that. Hopefully, it'll kind of like inspire you to start coming up with your own ideas over time. And you got to start somewhere. I mean, it's like that book, like something about artist steal or something like that. Because, I mean, if you look at something like all artists are inspired by, like, another artist that came before them. And some people are trying to say, like, oh, this person stole the style from this person and that kind of, like... But, yeah, I mean, they were just inspired, and then they kind of, like, spin that into their own style. So, yeah, here we go. Getting into it. I'm going to start with... Gemini. And I feel like Gemini is good for looking over the internet to get suggestions for the idea and just get a very simple, like a simple idea of what I want to do. And then I'm going to try moving to Claude to break that idea down into more detail. And then I will go into cursor right here. I'll get this started and just start doing the app. And yeah, I notice I'm getting better every day, building better apps quicker each time, running into problems, but I'm learning the most from the problems. So I'll just keep going, and like when I hit problems, I'll just keep flowing, because that's where I know the most learning's coming from. Also, too, I noticed like the lighting's kind of strange, and yeah, I'm still setting up this whole setup. Just got a new desktop so I can get better quality of the streams on here, get some music going. Just keep improving every day. And also, too, I'm going to run through the process that I got, and I added some new steps. Did some more research on something, so yeah, let's see. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna erase the, oh, by the way, yesterday, the app that I built was the whale volume tracker. So if you haven't checked that out yet, go and check it out. It should be live on the internet. And it's basically, if you don't know what volume is, it's like how much money's going into an asset, basically. But you can learn more checking out the app. It'll explain it a lot better. Explain like what a whale is in this context. And yeah, feel free to leave any feedback about that app. Anything you want me to change, I can go and make changes, make it better. So, alright. I'm gonna delete the stuff from yesterday. Erase. Alright, so yeah. First it's the blueprint, and we gotta find the problem first. Find the problem I want to solve. Um, the pain point people have. Then I'm gonna build the vibe. The vibe is basically build the vibe, and the vibe is basically like the style of the app. I got starting to get things standardized so that I have like a prompt that's gonna make sure that the apps are all, you know, like kind of looking the same. But I'm sure that'll change over time too as I get better. Name the app. We got the build. I'll make the screen bigger too. There we go. Yeah, that's way better. Build the vibe. Name the app. Then create the folders. Go ahead and plan out the prompts to get the app started. Once the app is good, test it locally. That means it'll just be on like my computer. So I'll test it. And then the new step I added that I'm hoping to try out today is create some like brand guidelines, which I already kind of have, and that's what I'm talking about, that prompt. But I want to basically see how I can improve on them a little bit every day. And then I want to try out some new tools like for the design of the app. And even though like the design doesn't really matter so much right now, until I know people are using the app, I just figured I would try these out and see if it helps. See if the app looks any better. But yeah, for the most part, I don't want to put too much work into like the design and the branding, unless I know people are using it. Right now, it's all about, is this solving a problem? Is this app helping people in some type of way that people want to use it? And if so, and I see people are using it, then I'll improve on it. So then I got Google Analytics, which is I'm going to hook it up with the app. It's going to tell me if people are using it. Then I'm going to push it to GitHub and Netlify or a similar service that basically makes takes the app from my computer to the internet. So then it's live. So I'm going to like test it live, test the link live, and then get into marketing. Hopefully do some marketing. I've been thinking, I was thinking from day one I was going to be able to have time to like market each app, but yeah, I ended up running out of energy and needing to take a break before I got to that point. But it's okay because it's all apps like the same finance. So like, hopefully I get to marketing today, but when I do, like I can just kind of promote all the apps to the same groups and get an idea of what people like. All right. Yeah, so here I go. Getting ready to get started. I will talk to the AI and get started with the planning. Let's see. Hey Claude, I'm building a new app today. I want this app to be serving beginners into finance, specifically investors, and I want it to focus on volatility. So I want the app to be able to provide information on the current level of volatility. I'm thinking in the overall market, and then also on a specific stock that someone could search the ticker for. I guess yeah, that's like the very basics of what I want to do. So can you search the internet and see what kind of people, what kind of pain points people have and problems people have, especially beginners, when it comes to understanding volatility and applying it to making investing decisions. Okay, they're saying, all right. Yeah, they're saying building an app focused on volatility for beginners is smart because most apps focus on price, but volatility is the emotional metric. It's what actually causes beginners to panic and sell at the worst times. So, based on current market research and behavioral finance data from 2026, here's the core pain points and problems beginners face when trying to understand and apply volatility. Main pain point is, or the first problem is volatility is something bad. And that's like a misconception that a lot of people have. Like, so beginners see volatility as like a bad thing. So beginners almost exclusively associate volatility with losses, and when they see that volatility is high, their lizard brain, meaning like their like most primal instincts, are gonna say sell everything. Because a lot of investing is like very primal. Like you could learn everything from an expert investor, but until you actually start doing it, switching from the learning or research phase to doing it, your learning is going to be very limited. So you learn a lot from doing it, and like with lizard brain, this is talking about like greed. Um, like that's where kind of like I feel like the scarcity mindsets come from. You got to like think from a higher level to an abundance mindset. So yeah, a lot of people are they'll make a decision and then like they'll see something or hear something that gets them on alert and has them like getting worried that they should sell or even buy at the wrong time. So they don't realize that volatility simply means movement in either direction. So this app should reframe volatility as opportunity or sale pricing. And they're recommending I use like a fear versus opportunity toggle to show that high volatility often precedes market recoveries. So they're saying like when the price is low and it's volatile, that's usually right before the market recovers, which is what I myself and a lot of other people see is going on in especially crypto right now. So number 2 problem is the implied, let's see. Oh, I just noticed another comment. How do I come up with so many ideas? Because that's what I do. That's what I'm good at. I've been an entrepreneur for like 15 years, coming up with all kinds of ideas. I've tried so many different businesses. Most of them don't work. Just keep coming up with ideas. Mainly like I don't even come up with them, right? Like the way I see it is like most of the time, like the ideas come to me. I started to realize the more work I put into it and the more I've taken this path is like ideas are kind of like are out there, right? Like in the consciousness of the world. And like the right ideas find the right people at the right times. And what I've noticed is like in the past, like when I first started like kind of like having an understanding about this, is that what I would do is I'd get a good idea, and then I would like plan something. And I'd be like, I need to do this later. I need to look into this. But now I realize when I get like a good idea and it just feels right, like that means like start it. Because if I don't start it right away, like that idea is gonna fade, right? And then someone else is gonna get the idea. Like I'll get good ideas, and then I'll just kind of like put it on the shelf, and then like a year later, 6 months later, I'll see somebody else made it, and I'll be like, oh man, I didn't act on that idea, so like it went to somebody else. So yeah, I mean, ideas just come and go. Got to just be in the right flow, be in the right path, and like when I start on the idea, I don't really know where the next step is going to be. I just have an abundance mindset. Like, yeah, like this feels right for me. I feel like I could like provide value to people. And then the next step appears, and then the next step appears. Because, big up Bob Proctor. I feel like he understood this very well with like understanding vibration. Like, you never know like what the next step is going to be. Just know where you want to get to, and then just start the first step and the next step appears. So I hear you, like analysis paralysis gets, yeah. So like, I mean, it's good to do some analysis, but for the most part, just get started. Get a good idea, get started working on it. I mean, now with AI, it makes it like 100 million times easier, and it's just getting better and better like every day. Like the amount I've seen technology increase is crazy to me. Like AI a year ago, I was like, whoa, this is the biggest thing I've ever seen in my life with technology. And like a year later is like AI is like 100 times better. I can do like 100 times more. And I can only imagine like 5 years from now how good it's gonna be. All right, so getting back to what I was doing this research real quick. We got a pain point of implied versus historical confusion. So usually when beginners look up a stock and see two different volatility percentages, they have no idea which one to use for a decision. I think that's kind of like more than a beginner level, because you would have to like understand volatility to even know which one to use. But anyways, that could help. Historical volatility tells them like, you know, what volatility has been like in the past. Implied volatility tells them what kind of volatility that the market thinks will be basically in the future. And app opportunity saying like, don't just show the volatility numbers. Use like a weather forecast analogy. I kind of like that idea. HV is like yesterday's rainfall, and IV is like the chance of rain tomorrow. Okay. So now you got the VIX paradox. So like the VIX, you can look up VIX if you want, and it'll tell you it's like a stock basically. There's like a price chart with it, and the VIX basically measures volatility. But you can invest in the VIX. So like when volatility is low, you could buy, and then you could like sell when volatility is high. And more of a advanced strategy a lot of people will use when volatility is high or even low. Sometimes you can hedge like your other like bets, you would call them, or investments. So you could like invest in volatility if you're uncertain about volatility. And then this is like really advanced, I don't want to get into it, but it can be like a strategy that people use. But this is way more advanced than I would want to put on this app. So yeah, people don't understand what the numbers from the VIX means. And that's what I would want to make sure that like the VIX is incorporated. So the problem, volatility is relative. A VIX of 20 feels terrifying after being at level 12 for a year, but it feels cheap after a month of 40. So I think I understand what they're saying. So the app opportunity, use percentiles instead of raw numbers. That would go good with like the weather forecast analogy, like percentage chance of rain, percentage chance of volatility. And like, you know, just like the weather, you can't really 100% predict it. The weather's going to do what it's going to do. You can only use tools. Like there's all kinds of technical tools out there to predict the weather, but I mean, some days say it's going to be sunny and it rains. So you can't just like 100% rely on the weather. And sometimes it seems like some years the weather's totally on, like almost every day, and some years like their forecasts seem like they're totally off. So instead of saying the VIX is 22, say VIX is higher than it has been 80% of the time in the last year. Yeah, that makes more sense way more sense to a beginner. That's a good way to do it. Looking at the fourth problem that Gemini sees is users search for a stock like Tesla or Nvidia, and they see high volatility. They don't know if that's normal for a specific stock or if something is wrong. So the problem is like beginners lack a benchmark. They don't know if a stock is more volatile than the S&P 500 or its peers. So like they're wondering like should I invest in like an index like S&P 500, like a big group of stocks so it kind of averages out, or individual stocks, stuff like that. So I could use a beta indicator or a volatility comparison tool to show the stock's volatility side by side with like a boring index, like the I like how they say boring index, like the SPY, because those indexes to me are super boring. Like I mean they're safer, but like I feel like the better investors, like they would rather invest in stocks than myself. Like I could just put all my money and not even think about it into like these indexes. But usually the indexes are carried by like maybe five, they might have like 50 or 100 different stocks in them, but usually every year like 5 or 10 stocks really like drive the whole thing. So if you could pick those 5 or 10 stocks, then like you're gonna make way more money. And I think it's just way more fun, especially as an entrepreneur, to research businesses. And that's really how I learn more, is because like I'm an entrepreneur. I look at businesses, I'm like, that's a good idea, that's a bad idea, I think. And then I can go and basically like, invest in where my intuition is. Like when I was a beginner, I would look at like what so-called experts were investing in. And maybe like what I realized quick was like these experts really are still like learning themselves. Like a lot of the stuff they recommend doesn't work out. Some of it does, but for the most part, like you hit big on like every couple years. All it takes is like hitting big on like one good stock. Like everybody hit Tesla. What was that, like 5 to 10 years ago? Palantir was a big one like a couple years ago, and then who knows what the next one's gonna be. But yeah, we'll see. So you want to show the stock's volatility side by side with a boring index so that people can see like the risk premium that they're paying for. The next pain point people have is the actionability gap. So once they even like see that volatility is high, it's like, okay, well, what does that even mean? Like how should that guide my decision? So when people have data without like a next step, like we were talking about before, that's usually what leads to analysis paralysis. Beginners often watch the volatility move, but they don't change their behavior. So like, the markets will kind of like act a certain way for a while, and then they'll just like switch. So like a lot of people investing in trading, like they might find something that works for them, especially traders. Like they might find like, oh well, whenever this stock does this, like then I buy and it'll do this. But then maybe after a few months, the stock just totally changes like what it does, and then they keep doing that same method, and it doesn't work anymore. And you have to be able to be volatile with the volatility, to be able to know when things change and change with the times. So the opportunity could be like provide a volatility based archetype. When it's high volatility, it's time to stick to the DCA plan, dollar cost averaging, which means basically like, say you're investing like $100 a month or $100 a week, and you just do that over time instead of like saving up a lot of money and then like waiting for a time you think would be good to like go big on something. And especially for beginners, dollar cost averaging is better. I would say if you're a beginner, whatever you can afford, basically, like even if it's $10, especially like if you're a beginner, I mean take like $10 a week, go on one of these apps that you can buy even like partial fractions of stocks, and just start buying something new. like every week, every month, whatever it is. And I mean, you could spend like half an hour, 15 minutes a week. You could spend an hour a week, whatever you want to do. The more time you spend, probably the more you're going to learn. But like I said, the main thing is about like actually like doing it, actually learning from your mistakes and learning from your wins. So when it's low volatility, it's a good time to rebalance and research new positions. I like that. I like all these ideas really, so I want to kind of incorporate all these. So a summary of the key pain points. People don't really understand what like the numbers on the VIX mean, or like how to use them. So they're saying use it like a gauge of like quiet, normal, or turbulent. And then people don't really know if it's like a stock too risky for them, especially beginners. So you can use relative volatility, compare the stock to the S&P 500 average. And then strategy, like people are like afraid to invest, especially beginners. But I feel like if you just lower, like a big solution for that is just lower the amount of money that you start investing with. Make it so like, you know, whatever it is to you, if it's like $10, that like if you make a mistake, it doesn't really matter. The main thing is you'll be learning. So for the app could, to help people learn, it could explain that high volatility usually means things are expensive, assets are expensive, but cheap long-term stock entries. Okay, that's maybe more than beginners would understand, unless I could find a way to really like explain it better. So yeah, Gemini's asking me would it like to help me draft a UI map user interface for the home screen that addresses these beginner pain points directly. I think what I want to do now is kind of run this information that I got from Gemini through with Claude and see what Claude thinks. Can you create a prompt that summarizes these pain points and your recommendation for solving them? And also basically what I'm trying to do in regards to creating an app that helps beginners with volatility, understanding volatility, and how to use this information to their advantage. Alright, I'm going to copy this prompt and give it to Claude.
Hey Nate, how's it going?
Hey Claude, you know everything's good as usual. So what I want to do today is create an app for beginners to help them understand volatility when it comes to investing. Whoa.
That sounds like a genuinely useful project. Validation can be pretty confusing for folks just starting out. What kind of validation are we talking about? Like form validation, data validation, or something else entirely?
No, Claude, I did not say validation. I said volatility. And I want this to be for beginners to help them understand volatility, what the volatility is on a certain stock, and that in comparison to the entire market. I have already done some research and I have a prompt for you, so I will post that prompt yet. I think I have to, I don't think I can post it to this chat. I think I have to wait for you to talk and then post it to the next chat. If I'm wrong, let me know.
My apologies, Nate. Volatility got it. And yeah, you're spot on. You'll want to paste that prompt in your next message, and I'll take a look at it then. Go ahead whenever you're ready.
Yeah, when I get my new setup, I'm gonna find a way to get the AI on the screen so you guys can see it. But right now, I'm running into problems because that's like the same window that I got the stream going, and it makes some like weird echo effect. So I'm just gonna have to like read what it's saying right now. So yeah, they're saying that's a good prompt. They love the vision. They like the weather forecast model. Want to understand some things like the data source. Do I have a preferred API in mind? I think I'm going to go with the Alpha Vantage like I've been going before. And then the MVP versus the full vision, which features are absolute must-have, like a fear or greed gauge, ticker search, definitely that. That's like the main thing with the S&P 500 comparison. Educational explainers, I definitely want that. Personalized risk guardrails, alerts. I'm not really sure. I would like more information on what they have in mind for that. And then for the tech stack preference, I think in React, JavaScript are open to other approaches. Well, yeah, Java's the one I understand the best, but I would like their input on what they think, the AI, I mean. And then should this be a standalone app or integrated with something else? Standalone. All the apps I'm making are going to be standalone, and then I can integrate them afterwards based on like which ones people are using. So the scope of educational snacks. Would these be pre-written explainers? Or would they need dynamic generation based on recent news and events? I think that might be a little bit above people's heads if they're beginners. The events part, so probably like pre-written explainers, but I'm not sure. I would get their advice. Okay, so now I'm going to answer Claude. Okay, to answer your questions, for the data source, I have used Alpha Vantage in the past and that has worked best for me. I'm still on their free tier, but if people use the app, then I will upgrade. For the second question, the MVP versus the full vision, which features are absolute must-haves for the first version? I would say the main thing is a smart ticker search with S&P 500 comparison, then educational explainers. Then I want to know your suggestions on a market pulse dashboard and personalized risk guardrails or alerts. For the tech stack, I believe I was using JavaScript for my other apps, but I am open to your suggestion on what you think would work best for this app. This will be a standalone app and possible integration in the...
Brilliant. So you've got a really solid vision here, Nate. Let me just clarify the data. An MVP question first, before we talk tech stack. On AlphaVantage, they're solid for historical volatility data, but honestly, their free tier has rate limits that'll become a real bottleneck once you've got users. You might want to explore FinHub or Polygon.io as you scale. They've got better free tiers for implied volatility too, which you'll need for that IV versus HV comparison. For the MVP, I'd say nail the ticker search with S&P 500 comparison first. That's your core value prop. Then layer in the educational snippets. Skip the market pulse dashboard and personalized alerts for now. They're nice to haves that add complexity without being essential to prove the concept works. Tech stack wise, JavaScript makes sense if you're already comfortable with it. React frontend with a Node backend would let you cache AlphaVantage calls efficiently and keep costs down. Want me to dig into the architecture details, or shall we workshop the feature breakdown first?
So I would like to workshop the feature breakdown first. And also, I was not done talking last time. You just cut me off. And I like your idea about trying out this Polygon.io. I had some issues with FinHub before, so I don't want to use that again. But if you think Polygon.io has better information and better free tiers, then I want to try that. And I definitely want to get your advice on, any kind of extra features that you think I might want to add, or anything you think I'm not doing that would provide more value, or anything I'm trying to do that might be too technical for beginners. So let me know what you think.
Hey Nate, apologies for cutting you off earlier. That wasn't intentional. Right, so let me just make sure I'm tracking everything here before we dive in. You're building a volatility literacy app for beginners with 3 MVP features: smart ticker search comparing to the S&P 500, educational explainers, and you're weighing the market pulse dashboard and personalized risk alerts for later. You've had good success with AlphaVantage, but you're open to Polygon.io, and you're leaning JavaScript, but keen to hear if there's something better suited. Is that the shape of it?
Yes, and also I had an idea to make this more simple, that more people would understand it, by using like a weather forecast analogy. I think that beginners would kind of understand it if we like phrased the information as if it was like a forecast of kind of what's likely to happen, so that also, like with my other apps, beginners have a better understanding that these tools do not guarantee anything, that they just provide you with information that let you know what is more likely to happen.
All right, Nate. I hear you. And apologies for cutting you off before. Let me sort through what you're after here. So you've got a really solid vision for this volatility app. And I think the weather forecast analogy is genuinely clever, because it reframes volatility from scary unknown to here's what conditions look like. That naturally sets expectations that forecasts aren't guarantees, which is exactly the disclaimer beginners need. Quick thoughts before we workshop the feature breakdown. On the data side, I'd actually lean toward PAH-Legon over AlphaVantage for this use case. They've got better historical volatility data and implied volatility feeds, which are your bread and butter. Their free tier is reasonable to start, and they scale well if you get traction. For the tech stack, since you're comfortable with JavaScript, I'd suggest React for the front end. It's perfect for real-time dashboards that update. For the back end, Node with Express keeps everything in one language, which speeds up development. Now, should we dig into the MVP feature list first, or would you rather hash out which of those ideas, market pulse dashboard versus personalized alerts, feels most valuable to tackle in version 1?
Okay, I just turned off the voice chat for Claude. So what I want to do right now is, like, if you're watching, I'm a beginner. I'm still learning this stuff. I just wanted to refresh my mind and let you guys know what they're talking about. So Polygon and Alpha Vantage are websites like Yahoo Finance, and they have APIs, which is basically a way for my app to connect to them. An API is like the way it connects the tool, and they all kind of do it differently. They give you a certain amount of information. Each one, they say they give you a certain amount of information for free, and then you got to pay more if you want to get like more detailed information. The reason I'm hesitant to use like Alpha Vantage was good. The first one I tried using was FinHub, and FinHub was telling me that, you know, like certain things were free that I could use, but then when I actually like hooked it up and tried using it, it was different from what they said, and that caused a lot of like troubleshooting to like figure it out, and I ended up actually like having to incorporate Yahoo Finance, which doesn't, from what I understand, have the best API, and it changes a lot. And when I'm looking at what they want me to use for the tech stack, so it's like different different programming languages, basically like JavaScript is a programming language, and they all kind of do different things. So like just like JavaScript, JavaScript is an object-oriented computer programming language commonly used to create interactive effects within web browsers. And JavaScript I was recommended like to be the first language I learned, and to learn one language at a time. So I found some like good free resources, like free books on the internet that teach you JavaScript, and I just kind of scanned through them really quick without trying to get like too detailed, and that helped a lot. So let's see. Now like React. React coding refers to using the JavaScript library to build user interfaces with reusable self-contained pieces of code called components. It basically simplifies the process of creating dynamic web applications where content can change without requiring a full page reload. So the main thing I'm thinking there is that would help the most, because like only get a certain amount of data, and if it reloads all the time, then it would like affect the data limits maybe. Let's see. So Node with Express, let's see. Node with Express coding refers to using the Node.js runtime environment and Express.js framework together to build server-side applications and APIs in JavaScript. Combination is powerful and popular choice for backend development. So this is going to be like backend development. Node.js allows JavaScript to run on a server or computer's operating system. This is a minimal, flexible, and Express is a minimal, flexible, and unopinionated framework built on top of Node. It simplifies the development process by providing tools and features. All right. So basically now Claude is asking me, should we dig into the MVP feature list first? Or would I rather hash out which of these ideas, market pulse dashboard versus personalized alerts, feels most valuable to tackle in version 1? I like the idea of um, basically deciding on the main feature of the app, like the main function that it does, and then once that's done, then we can talk about what to add to it and then make those additions. So I want to, try to do this like one step at a time if possible, instead of like trying to build the whole app at once. What do you think of this idea?
Absolutely brilliant approach, Nate. Building one feature at a time is honestly the best way. You'll avoid bloat, get feedback faster, and keep momentum. And I really like your instinct on the weather forecast framing. That naturally sets expectations that this is a prediction, not a guarantee, which is exactly what beginners need to understand. So here's what I'm thinking. Your core feature should be the smart ticker search with that weather forecast lens. User types in a stock ticker, and they get a volatility forecast compared to the S&P 500. Like, this stock is stormier than usual, or calmer than the broader market. That's your North Star. Once that's solid and working, we layer on the educational explainers to explain why the weather is what it is. Sound good?
Yeah, I like the idea of that. I was actually just creating the main folder and I was calling it volatility forecast right before you recommended to use the volatility forecast idea. So it sounds like we're on the same page. I got the main folder created. I've got cursor open. I'm about to open Claude Code. Do you think it's time that you could give me a prompt? I think I want to create all the subfolders first and then get started with this. Do you think that is the best order to do this in?
Yeah, brilliant approach, Nate. Building incrementally is absolutely the right call. And setting up your folders first is smart. It'll keep things organized as the features on. For the subfolders, I'd suggest something like components for your React components, utils for helper functions and API calls, data for mock data or constants, and styles for your CSS. Then once that's solid, we can code a prompt to get the ticker search with the weather forecast analogy, working as your core feature. Since you're about to hop into Claude Code, shall I give you a prompt for the folder structure setup first? Or would you rather jump straight into building the main ticker search component?
Give me a prompt for the folder setup first.
Perfect, Nate. I'm really glad faster without overthinking architecture. What's your instinct there?
Okay, looks like it just stopped talking, but basically it's saying the weather forecast framing is good. It's good for beginners. Before they give me the folder structure, they just want to clarify that we're building the folder structure for the entire MVP. Oh, okay, so they're wondering, should they do just a folder structure for like the basic part of what we're gonna do, or try to like create all the folders for everything. But they're saying that they're asking this because starting minimal means I can iterate faster without overthinking architecture. So I'm going to take their suggestion. I like your suggestion about starting minimal. So I guess in that case, we should do the folder structure for the entire MVP. From what I understand, there should be no problem to update folders later as we add more features. Is this correct?
Yeah, exactly right, Nate. You can absolutely add folders later as features grow. But since we're planning the MVP with ticker search, educational explainers, and potentially those other features down the line, let's build a structure that can scale without needing a major reorganization. Here's a prompt you can paste into Claude Code to set up your folder structure for the full MVP. This will give you room for the ticker search, education content, API integrations, and styling all in one go. Create a React project folder structure for a volatility forecast app. The MVP includes smart ticker search with S&P 500 comparison, educational explainers about volatility, a market pulse dashboard showing fear versus greed, and personalized risk alerts. Set up folders for components, hooks for custom React logic, services for API calls to Polygon IO and Alpha Vantage, utils for helper functions, data for mock data and constants, styles for CSS, and pages for different views. Include a public folder for assets. Keep it minimal but scalable. Use industry best practices for organization. Pop that in and let me know what Claude Code generates for you.
Alright, so here we go. Starting the build. Going into cursor. Opening a new project. I think I can just drag the folder. Yeah, awesome. Finding shortcuts every day. Alright, so this is the cursor window. I'm using that less and less the more I learn. It helped a lot in the beginning because basically it moved slower, and it was like it was more of like a step-by-step thing, and it explained to me better what was going on. Claude Code does that too, but it moves so quick it's hard for me to like read it and understand. So now I gotta start the Claude Code terminal, or I gotta start the terminal and then link Claude Code with it. And I just do that by typing in Claude. And also, I've done all this so far just on the beginner $20 a month subscription to Claude. I don't think you can do this free with a free account on Claude. You could do you could get a free account on Claude and then just do like brainstorming for like deciding ideas. But there's basically, from what I understand, like a $20, a $100, and a $200. And I'll just upgrade as I use more data and get more advanced ideas. And also, I don't know if it's still there, but just 2 days ago they had if you get the $20 plan on Claude, there was like an option on the site to get a free extra $50 in usage for Claude Code. So that's a pretty good idea right now. I'm just gonna tell it I trust this folder. It's just a folder I just created on my desktop. Let's see. I'm going to use a medium effort for right now. Looks like I can. Looks like everything's set up for this folder, for this project. So now I just give it this first prompt. There we go. And also, like, I'm manually clicking yes every time when it's asking me questions, it's just to try and get a better idea of what's going on. Usually you can set it up so that it'll just like not ask me to say yes, it'll just do everything. See, like it says, like, let me see if you can see that, make sure you can see this on the screen. Yeah, okay. So like yes. Um Do I want to make the edit to tickersearch.css? Yes. I gotta remember too, because last time Claude, like I thought it automatically connected the API last time. That was kind of the understanding I got from it. But, because it like showed me a working app. And then like I tried it out and I was like, oh, this is cool. But like I tried searching a few stocks and I was getting like information that didn't make sense to me. I was like, wait, Claude, did you put the API in yet? And it was like, no, I just put in like fake data. And I was like, no, like I need the API. And they're like, okay, cool, just get the API key and I'll put it in. And I was like, alright, yeah, like should have done that from the start, but now I know to check that. It's asking me about like making edits to folders, I think. So yeah, also what I'll do is I'll open it up so that like right about here I can see the just gonna make this screen bigger too. Since I'm barely using cursor anymore, might as well do that. Making edits, yeah. Yeah, and you can see like it shows shows what it's doing, shows how long it's taking, and how many tokens it's using. And tokens are basically like your usage, like how much usage you have. Tokens like can't remember how much tokens are worth. I can look that up real quick. I think that like last time I looked it up, I remember they don't give you an exact amount on tokens because they maybe like change the value over time as they're learning. And for the most part though, like I said, I have not gone over the $20 a month tier yet. People I know that just like make projects that they leave Claude running for hours end up getting like better or end up paying more. Yeah, I'm just looking at like what folders they're making changes to and manually clicking yes each time. So really it's only been running for, 1 minute 45 seconds about, and it's used like 4,000 tokens. I feel like that's pretty standard. I think looking at the past, I'm probably using between like 30 and 60,000 tokens per app that I've been making so far, maybe, if I just added it up in my head. Yeah, so now it's asking me about making edits to the Polygon service, which is like the API I'm using. But from what I understand, now it's asking me about making edits to Alpha Vantage services, so I don't understand why I would be using Alpha Vantage and Polygon. But as long as I don't see FinHub, because FinHub's what caused me a lot of problems in the past, then I'm not too concerned about it. Risk engine. Did I Next.js. It's mustering up. Going on about 6,000 tokens right now. Which is like still nothing. And I noticed like when it comes to tokens, from what I've heard most people are saying like AI is so new that like a lot of this stuff right now they think is going to be a lot more expensive in the future. Cause like basically like the value out of this, I mean, like if I'm paying $20 a month and I'm making an app every day that would cost me maybe like $1,000 to hire a developer to make, and of course it's going to take them like, you know, the time cost. They're going to make it. If this didn't exist, like if they couldn't use AI, and I have to pay them money, and I have to like post a job, like look at people's like resumes and their projects they've done, hire a person, pay them, wait for them to get it done, have them get it back to me, tell them like what I want to change, maybe pay them more, wait more time. So really like the value this is right now is insane compared to like what it used to be just like, you know, even 6 months to a year ago. So what people think is like people think that people that understand this better than me thinks that over time AI, the prices are going to go way up. And that would make sense. I mean, but even if the prices went way up, it would still be like a way better value than it used to be. So yeah, I'm trying to get it while, you know, make hay while the sun is shining. Like I'm saying, like get these good ideas, and I'm not trying to like put it on the back burner. Other businesses I was working on before I got this idea, I see this as like I'm really feeling the flow. I'm really feeling like the vibes on this more. So like I'm still doing them, but I'm just putting this first. I'm just making this my top priority right now. And ultimately, I was saying this before. Like ultimately, when I learn this better, I'm not at this level yet, but I want to create programs that will run my business mostly by itself, to where like, you know, obviously like a lot of people that don't understand AI very well, they're using it and they're making what people call like AI slop. Like you can easily tell it's AI and it's like the AI voice and the AI opinion. But the better you understand AI, the more you can like iterate what it's doing, and the more you can you know, basically like stop it before it makes a slop, and like put your own voice into it and your own opinion, and knowing when to do that and how to do that. You're essentially like using AI more of a tool than like something that's gonna just like create everything. But yeah, once I get it, like I want to get a system down where like it does a step, comes back to me, I check it out, I like tell it like what to change, and then it does the next step and then it comes back to me, instead of what most people do, which they have it just like do everything. So basically I would set it up like, you know, one employee, one department at a time for my other business. And so yeah, they're showing me the thing about the $50 free extra usage again, but I already set that up. So I'm not even gonna check it. I really doubt that they're gonna give me another $50 free, and I'm not even like, last time I checked, I wasn't even like halfway through my usage. It's saying /type/extra usage to enable. So maybe I clicked it, but it's not enabled, but I doubt it because I saw my usage bar and it like went up after I selected it on the Claude website. Like I said, either way, I'm not even halfway through, and I have no problem like upgrading to the like for what this is doing. Like, man, and especially if I'm using it like every day and getting the value I am, like $200 is nothing. Like, So, yeah, I can tell, like, I'm reading it quick and it's saying, like, certain plugins are not working the way I thought it would, so they have to, like, research something else and, like, and it's good at solving that. Because when I was first just using Cursor, like, I was learning a lot and I was doing things, like, really one step at a time. And that's where I was, like, running into the biggest problems. Like I would have Cursor, like, you know, for the APIs, and I would, like, have it hook it up, and then Cursor would be like, oh, this isn't working, and then I go back to, we'll go back to, what's it called, the LLM, like Claude or Gemini. I just don't find myself using ChatGPT that much anymore. Um, First, like, ChatGPT was, like, the first one I was using the most, and I feel like they made changes to it that just, like, kind of dumbed it down, and a few other things I've heard about ChatGPT as far as, like, taking your data compared to other ones. So anyways, it looks like, yeah, it looks like it's done. So it's saying I can run npm start and it'll launch the dev server. And I also want to copy the env example folders to the env so I can add the Polygon and AlphaVantage API keys before the API calls will work. Okay. So, I don't know what that meant, but, see what that's about. The name of the OneDrive item contains characters that prevent syncing. You can replace the characters with an underscore. Okay, I'll just try it, and then, like, I'm thinking, like, I might be better off asking Claude what that means, but I'm just gonna take its advice and just have it rename. And if I run into problems later, I'll remember to tell Claude that it did that, and that might be why. So, yeah, run npm start. I should have copied. I'm gonna actually, if I can go back up. Yeah, okay. I want to copy this about the folders and the API keys, and then give that to Claude and ask it, like, what I need to do for that. I think I understand what I need to do, but I just want to make sure. I'm about to copy and paste something that I got from Claude Code in regards to setting up files for the API keys. I think I understand what it wants me to do, but help me out by walking me through what it wants me to do exactly.
Yeah, you're spot on. Starting with a minimal folder structure for the MVP is the sweet spot. You can absolutely add folders as you go, so no stress there. Go ahead and paste what Claude Code gave you about the API keys, and I'll walk you through it step by step. That's you.
Yeah, just open a new window with the app. Oh yeah, I forgot to give it the what you call it, my kind of like my brand guideline. So I'm just opening up this Word doc. There's my brand guideline on it. I want to do one thing at a time, so I'm just gonna okay, first, so what I want to do right now is since I kind of finished that step, if you're just joining in, I'm creating an app with this challenge that I'm doing, a vibe coding challenge, and essentially I'm making apps right now for beginner investors so that they can understand investing better and get, be in abundance mindset, realize that they can tap into a lot more money than they're already making. There's a lot of hype out there for especially beginner investors, so I'm trying to help them with apps that will educate them and help them cut through the hype so that they can become good investors and see how easy it is to basically like make more money, turn the money they have into more money. And the main features basically for this app is to kind of do it like a weather forecast analogy so that people can like understand volatility the way that like they would understand the weather, like like yesterday it rained, chance of rain tomorrow is like this, and then apply that to volatility so they can understand it better. And I want it to be so this app they can put in a ticker, like basically like ticker is like the abbreviations for a stock, like Apple is like APPL. So they put in the ticker and they'll get the kind of like a volatility report, like it's a weather report. And it can also, there's also going to be other features too, like education features, so that they can have a better idea, understanding of what they're actually like doing and learning, and not just like blindly like taking advice. And over time, then they can, just just kind of, all the apps I'm making with the finance are going to kind of like play into each other so that they can like learn many different things with like one stock, put it into this app and then put it in the next app, and then get more like a well-rounded view about that stock. And okay, so we got the stock we got the app from yesterday, which was the whale volatility tracker. And let's see, I already erased the URL for that. But I think it was like, I said it at the beginning of the stream too, it was like whale volatility tracker .netlify.app, I think. But yeah, it's live on the internet. All these apps, when this app is done, I'm going to give you the, when it's live, I'll give you the URL for this app so you can check it out and try it yourself. Feel free to comment anytime. Let me know what you think about what's going on, any questions that you have, because I'm a beginner here too. I learn quick. Like I really enjoy learning. So basically, like I'm like, before I started this challenge, a month before I started this challenge, like I knew nothing about coding basically, and I just saw an opportunity. I was really interested in this, and I just started like learning everything I could about it. And it's like, that's when I know it's like a good opportunity, when I hear something that's interesting and I start learning about it, and I just like don't want to stop learning. I just go like deeper and deeper into like information about it. And that kind of led me to like finding other people that were doing similar challenges, but they were all like very experienced coders. Like they were already like good at coding, I think, before this came along. This just made it easier for them to code. So I was learning from them, but it was really difficult because as a beginner, a lot of the stuff they were saying was really like over my head. I didn't really understand it. I just kind of saw what they were doing and had to like research a lot of what they were doing. So I was like, man, I feel like my audience really like is here for like abundance mindset, investing, and business. So I'm like combining all three with this, and people can see my journey of a beginner learning this stuff, and then they can hopefully take what I'm doing if they think it's interesting and they think they can provide value to people and they are like an idea person that has good ideas. They can go ahead and they can just copy what I'm doing and learn from that, and then like as they get better at it, then just like put their own spin on it and hopefully provide a lot of value to a lot of people, and then that's where the money will come next. So okay, yeah, so I want to open the browser on cursor so you can see the site. Okay, and this is just kind of like the shell. Like I don't have the actual data in yet, so it's just giving me like, and this is like the basics of it. It's just giving me like fake data right now. Can search the ticker up here, like Apple. So yeah, it's not doing anything yet when I put it in because it doesn't. It's just like barely getting started with the process. But also too, I forgot to give it my kind of like style guidelines. So I'm gonna give it that, I think, after I get the APIs hooked up. Okay. Claude, can you create a prompt for me that shows me where to paste in the API keys on the prompt, and then I can just give that prompt to Claude Code and it will create the folders with the API keys. Also, I'm streaming live, so I guess I'll just need to cover up the Claude Code terminal so that people can't see the API keys. Is there anything that I should consider because I'm streaming live with security that I haven't already considered? And is this something that I could do where you just provide me this prompt and I just copy and paste the API keys into?
Right. So what Claude Code is asking you to do is create two files. A .env example file that shows the structure without actual keys, and then a .env file where you actually paste your real API keys. The .env file stays local on your machine and never gets committed to version control. Since you're streaming live, here's the thing. You absolutely cannot paste your real API keys into Claude Code on stream. Anyone watching can screenshot or screen record them and use them. Even covering the terminal isn't bulletproof. Instead, here's what I'd suggest. Create the .env example file on stream showing the structure, then pause streaming, paste your actual keys into the .env file offline, and resume streaming after. That way, you're secure and your keys stay private. Want me to write you a prompt for creating that .env example structure?
Yes, please write that prompt.
Right, so what Claude Code is telling you need to create two files. One called .env.example, which is a template showing what variables you need, and one called .env, which is your actual secret file where you paste your real API keys. The .env file should never be committed to Git or shared publicly. Since you're streaming live, here's what I'd suggest. Create the .env example file with placeholder text first. Commit that to your repo. Then locally on your machine, you create the actual .env file with your real keys. Just don't show that terminal on stream. Your .jitinyor should already exclude .env files, so they won't accidentally get pushed. Here's a prompt for Claude Code that keeps your keys secure. Create a .env.example file with placeholder variables for polygon.io and AlphaVantage API keys. Format it like Vite_app. Polygon key equals your Polygon key here, and Vite_app AlphaVantage key equals your AlphaVantage key here. Then create a .env file template that shows me exactly where to paste my real API keys locally, without exposing them on stream. Include instructions on adding .env to .jitinyor if it's not already there. That way you've got the template public, but your actual keys stay private. Sound good?
Alright, so I'm going to give Claude this prompt. Give Claude Code the prompt from Claude. So now while it's thinking or cooking, basically what I want to do is get these API keys. That sounds good to me, Claude. Can you please walk me through how to get both of these API keys? Cut me off again.
Right. Let me give you that prompt first. Then we'll cover the API key retrieval and streaming security. Here's your prompt for Claude Code. Create a React project folder structure for a volatility forecast app, MVP. Include folders for components, hooks, services, utils, data, styles, and pages. In the services folder, create an API configuration file that imports API keys from environment variables. Create a .env.example file in the root with placeholders for polygon.io API key and AlphaVantage API key. Create a .env file template with instructions to paste your actual keys here. Include .env in .gitignore to prevent accidental commits. Set up basic folder structure with placeholder files in each directory. Now, on streaming security, yes, absolutely cover that terminal window when you're pasting keys. Also, after you're done streaming, regenerate both your API keys in the respective dashboards just to be safe. It takes 2 minutes and gives you peace of mind. For getting the keys, Polygon.io's free tier sign-up is straightforward on their website, and AlphaVantage you can get instantly on their homepage. Want me to walk you through both?
Yes, please walk me through both.
Right. So here's the prompt you can use. Just fill in your actual API keys, where I've marked the placeholders. Then paste the whole thing into Claude Code. Create a React project folder structure for a volatility forecast app. Set up the following environment files and folders. Create a .env file with these API keys. Polygon.io API key is insert your Polygon.io API key here. An AlphaVantage API key is insert your AlphaVantage API key here. Create a .env.example file with placeholder values for security. Then generate folders for components, hooks, services, utils, data, styles, and pages. Make sure .env is added to .gitignore, so API keys aren't committed to version control. On the security front, since you're streaming, definitely cover that terminal when you're pasting keys in. Also, never commit the .env file to GitHub, and consider rotating those keys after streaming if you're worried. For getting the keys themselves, AlphaVantage is straightforward. Just sign up at alphavantage.co, grab your free key. For Polygon.io, same deal. Sign up, get your free tier key from their dashboard. Want me to walk you through the actual sign-up steps for both?
Okay, before I go and put those API keys in, I'm a little bit confused about something. The last prompt that I gave Claude Code was telling it to create a .env example file with placeholder variables for Polygon and AlphaVantage API keys, and then basically how to format it, and then create a .env file template that shows me where to paste the API keys locally. It finished doing that, and then you gave me a prompt to create a React project folder structure for a volatility forecast app MVP. And then you just gave me the prompt to basically like put my API keys into it. So do I need to still give it that prompt to create a React project folder?
Okay, hold on, Nate. Let me untangle this because you're right to be confused. You've actually already got the folder structure set up from the earlier prompt, yeah? So you don't need to run that again. What you're asking for now is just a prompt that sets up your pod.env file with your actual API keys plugged in. That's a separate thing from the folder structure. Here's the prompt for Claude Code to create the .env file with your keys. Create a .env file for the volatility forecast app. Add the following variables with placeholder text where I'll insert my actual keys. React app Polygon.io API. Key equals your Polygon.io key here, and React app AlphaVantage API. Key equals your AlphaVantage key here. Include a note that this never be committed to version control. Then you just paste your actual keys into that file locally before running the app. Does that clear things up?
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to do that, and then I'll get back to you after I do it.
Right. Got it, Nate. Sounds like you've got a good handle on the sequence. Yeah, go ahead and run that React project folder structure prompt through Claude Code first to set everything up. Then we can layer in the API key integration once that's done. Just pop back when you've finished, and we'll move forward from there.
Okay, I got the AlphaVantage API key, but I'm having trouble finding the Polygon.io API key. It looks like the Polygon.io is on GitHub, and it says something about they've rebranded and Polygon.io is now massive. So they're giving me a link to the new GitHub organization. Do I need to like click that link to go to massive instead of Polygon?
Right. So Polygon.io did rebrand to Massive, yeah. But for your purposes, Polygon still works fine for volatility data. However, if you're seeing that redirect, it might be worth just signing up directly with Massive instead, since that's where they're moving everything. You'll get a fresher API key that way, and won't hit any deprecation issues down the road. Once you've got both keys, you can paste them into that .env file template we talked about, cover up the terminal whilst you're streaming, and you're golden. Does that make sense?
Yes, and this massive.com site is more confusing to find the API than Alpha Vantage. I'm on the massive.com main site, and I'm not seeing where I can find the API key. Is there some way like you can look at the site and tell me what I need to click to get the API key?
Let me search for the current Polygon.io API since they've rebranded to Massive. Right, so Polygon rebranded to MHSIP, which is a bit confusing. Here's what you need to do. Head to massive.com, look for a sign up or get started button, create an account, and then once you're logged in, you should see a dashboard where you can find your API key. It's usually under settings or a developers section. If you're having trouble spotting it on the site, try going directly to their documentation at docs.massive.com. That'll have clearer instructions on where to grab your free tier API key. The free tier gives you 5 calls per minute, which is decent for building out your MVP. Does that help point you in the right direction?
Yeah, looks like I found it now. Now it's easy. Create the API key, sign up with GitHub. Oh. Okay, I found the button that base.
Nice one, Nate. Brilliant. So you've got both API keys now, yeah? Once you've got them sorted, go ahead and pop them into that .env file we talked about. Cover the terminal on stream, and you're all set to start building the core ticker search feature. Let me know when you're ready to move forward.
I don't have the massive API key yet. I just found the button to click to get it, and then when I click the button, it's asking me if I want to sign up with GitHub or Google. What do you recommend?
Either works fine, Nate. Just pick whichever account you're most comfortable with. GitHub's probably slightly easier if you're already in that ecosystem for version control, but honestly, it doesn't matter. Just sign up, grab your key, and you're golden.
Alright, I got both the API keys. So I just need to take that prompt. I'm gonna copy and paste the prompt into a Word document. And then I'm going to add the API keys into that prompt where it says to add them. Cool, so Polygon first. And then Alpha Vantage. That's weird. So yeah, Alpha Vantage showed me the key before, and then I like left the screen for a while and came back. It's giving me some kind of error message, so I'm just gonna try again. Redundant origin, please try another email address. Maybe it's because I've like been getting API keys from them like every day. I gotta ask Claude.
Go for it.
I thought I had the API key for Alpha Vantage, but when I went back to the site, it took me back to the page where I give them my information for the free API key. And after I give them my information, it's saying that redundant origin, please try another email address or contact support. I don't know why it's doing this. Maybe it's because I've been getting like a different API key every day for the last 2 or 3 days, but I have no idea. What do you think I should do in this case?
That's frustrating, Nate. If you're hitting that error repeatedly, it might be that Alpha Vantage is flagging your email as generating too many keys in a short window. A couple of things to try. First, check your email inbox. They might have already sent you a key from one of those earlier signups. If not, try contacting their support like they suggested, or use a different email address to sign up fresh. Sometimes that clears things up. In the meantime, you can still move forward with just the massive key and get the core ticker search working. We can integrate Alpha Vantage later once you've sorted the key issue. Sound alright?
I guess I'll just try a different email. Yeah, I worked with a different email. Awesome. Okay. Right. So now I just gotta cover up that screen. Give it this prompt. Great. Yeah. Yeah, the API keys were always like the things I ran into problems with most in the apps in the past, and now I'm understanding it way better. So it's saying, okay, let me rotate those keys and add them myself. Okay, just gotta know how to open the folders. I gave it that prompt, and it's talking about the .env file is ready and waiting at the project root. I just have to paste the new keys in after I rotate them. I already gave them the prompt with the keys that I just generated. Is this telling me like it has the keys in already, and then that's where I can like add in new ones? Or is this telling me that it doesn't have the keys in and then I need to go into that folder and add the keys in for the first time?
Okay, let me untangle this a bit, Nate. Two separate issues here. On the Alpha Vantage side, that error about redundant email sounds like you might be hitting a rate limit or account issue on their end. Try waiting a bit, then request a new key. If it keeps happening, contact their support. They're usually responsive. On the .env file, Claude Code is saying the file is ready and waiting at your project root, which means it's already created. You just need to open that .env file in your code editor and paste your actual API keys into it where the placeholders are. You're not creating it again, just filling in the blanks with your real keys. Does that make sense?
Yes, I was confused before because on the prompt you gave me, I I deleted the part about like the name of the API key and I pasted in the actual API key. So now I forgot the command that I need to use to open up the list of files on the side of the cursor screen.
Right. So a couple things here, Nate. On the Alpha Vantage side, that redundant email error usually means you've already signed up with that email address before. Try logging in instead of signing up, or use a different email if you've got one handy. For the .env file and cursor, if Claude Code says the file is ready and waiting, that means it's already created. You just need to open the File Explorer and cursor on the left side. There should be a folder icon at the top left of the sidebar. Click that and you'll see your project files. Then you can navigate to the .env file and paste your keys in directly. Does that help clarify things?
Yeah, so I already got the Alpha Vantage API key with a different email. Um, the only thing is I don't see the folder icon, and in the past I was just able to basically hit some buttons on my keyboard, and then it would open up the folder structure thing. So do you know what for cursor I need to type in to open that folder structure panel?
Alright, Nate. Let me untangle a few things here. First, on the Alpha Vantage key issue. If you're getting that redundant email error, just try a different email address or contact their support. Sometimes their system flags duplicates weirdly. On the .env file and cursor, if Claude Code already created it with placeholders, you just need to open that file and replace the placeholder text with your actual API keys. You don't need to run the prompt again, just edit the existing file directly. For opening the File Explorer panel in cursor, try pressing Ctrl-Shift-E on Windows or Command-Shift-E on Mac. That'll toggle the File Explorer sidebar on the left side of your screen. Once you've got that open, navigate to your .env file, paste in your actual keys, and you're set. Does that help?
Yeah, that's funny that like Claude kept bringing up that same issue that I already told him that I fixed, and then telling me that that cursor has problem being redundant. I'm like, oh, okay. Alright. Let's see. Just gotta make sure my the folder screen is covered. Yeah, it is. Cool. So .env. Okay, awesome. And it says paste your polygon key here. Awesome. So easy now. Now I'm understanding it better. It's so much easy. So much easier. Okay. Okay, yeah, I got the API keys in there now. So I'm gonna get out of that .env file so that I can show my screen again. Ooh. Okay. I just thought of a question I wanted to ask Claude too. Yeah, sorry that like the Claude voice is kind of like cutting in and out. I think that's because with my laptop I'm kind of like reaching the RAM data, and I think it's like that's what's causing it slow. So hopefully I'll have time tonight or tomorrow to set up the new desktop, and then I'll have like double the processing power basically. So I'm sitting here at like 90% of what I can use, and yeah, just open up things a lot better, get better quality streams and stuff, and add some music, and then everything should be working a lot smoother. But I mean, for right now, it's still I still feel like it's like definitely better than good enough for trying to do what I'm doing. But yeah, always improving. Okay, here's my question for Claude. I just thought of a question for you. I'm wondering why I got two different API keys this time. Could you explain why I didn't just get one API key?
Brilliant, mate. Glad you got the Alpha Vantage key sorted with a different email. On the keyboard shortcut for cursor, try Control-Shift-E on Windows or Command-Shift-E on Mac. That should toggle the File Explorer sidebar open. On why you got two API keys, you signed up twice with two different email addresses, so Alpha Vantage generated a separate key for each account. Each email gets its own unique key. You only need one key to use in your app, so just pick whichever email you want to keep using going forward, and paste that key into your .env file.
What I meant was, how come I got an API key for Alpha Vantage and an API key for Massive when in the past I would just get one API key from one source of information? Does this app need like more information that they can't get from just one API key source?
Right. So two things here, Nate. On the keyboard shortcut for cursor, Try Control-Shift-E on Windows or Command-Shift-E on Mac. That should toggle the File Explorer sidebar open. On the API keys, brilliant question. You need both because they provide different data. AlphaVantage gives you historical volatility and price data, while Massive, formerly Polygon, gives you implied volatility, which is what the market expects volatility to be in the future. That's your weather forecast versus past weather model we talked about earlier. Your app needs both to show users the full picture of volatility. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. Yes, it does. Also, on Claude, it is saying that the .env file is ready. So I did paste the keys in, and now it's like automatically in the text box giving me the option to click OK, done, start the dev server. Should I do that?
Right. So you need two API keys because each service provides different data, Nate. AlphaVantage gives you historical volatility and stock price data, while Massive gives you implied volatility and options data. You need both to build that weather forecast comparison model where you're showing historical versus predicted volatility. One source can't give you everything. On the dev server, yeah, go ahead and click that to start it up. That'll spin up your local development environment so you can see your app running. Once it's live, you can start building out the core ticket search feature with that weather forecast analogy.
Okay, so if you're just joining in, basically I got Claude Code working right now. I am building an app that is essentially what it's doing is this beginner finance app to help beginners understand volatility in the stock market, or I guess like maybe in the future I could apply it to crypto too or other assets. But right now it's just for stocks. You can put in any stock you're looking at, and instead of having to go and understand like how the VIX or volatility works, and read charts and all that kind of stuff, basically anybody, any beginner to investing can go on this app, put in the stock that they're looking at, and it's going to give them like a weather forecast. And basically what's going to do is give them this like this information in the form of like a weather forecast so they can understand it better. And there's also going to be like some learning tools so you can like understand what it's doing better, so you understand how volatility works and how that works for, you know, making investment decisions. I've created other apps. I'm creating a different investment app every day for 30 days, and basically when I'm done with this, I will, right now the app is only on my computer, and when it's creating it with Claude Code, when it's done, I'm going to transfer it over so it's on the internet. I'm going to give you guys the URL so you guys can use it. You can go ahead and like let me know what you think of it if you want. Any suggestions to make it better, anything that you don't understand, please let me know so I can like provide more value. And I'm gonna go and I'm gonna fill in the information what I have completed so far. So I'm going to let's see. Okay, yeah, it looks like they've updated the. Let me see if it works where I can type in like Apple. Didn't realize I was still, I had the volume on for Claude, and so I was telling Claude that, and he was trying to respond to me. Okay, yeah, so I'm typing in the, still not giving me any information yet, but I'll talk to Claude about that. So right now, I want to talk about what I've already done, and I'm gonna go on the board. Okay, so the problem. Main problem is volatility is difficult to understand, especially for beginners. I'm gonna build the vibe. It's like it's like a weather forecast style, and I'm going to name this apps right now. The name that I have is the volatility forecast. So with the build, yeah, I already created the folders, or I had Claude Code create the folders. I had Claude Code create the prompts to get it started. And now, right now, I'm still in the process of testing it locally. So as you can see, right here is the local test. It's only live right now on my computer, and it's very basic, like still in the process of being built. I have not given it the like once I get like the original functions in, I'm gonna give it the style that I want, and then I'm gonna add the extra features. So yeah, go ahead. If you haven't already, like the video, comment if you have any comments or questions, and subscribe too, because I'll bring more information to you every day. Maybe not every day, you know, I gotta take some breaks sometimes, but right now I'm still feeling this going every day, like excited to really, like, you know, build the next thing each day and get moving on this. So almost every day I'm going to be like on this challenge, and I'm just basically going to be like building up from nothing to 1 million. And who knows, maybe it'll happen fast, maybe it'll happen slow, and then I'll just like go from there, doing it one step at a time. I'm not even sure where the next step's going to be, but when I get there I'll see, and then I'll just keep flowing with it, because it's all abundance, and it's all abundance mindset, and there's really like more than enough out here for everybody. So I'm trying to teach other people how to get it too, how to do what I do. And anybody's got advice for me, that's something I would like to see. I would like to give thanks and respect to everybody so far in the comments, especially like the first few days I got started. When I was running into problems, people were right there giving me good advice, and that advice helped a lot. So yeah, big up yourself. Everybody else too. Anything new, you know, I like to hear it. So if you got a question, don't fear it, just write it down. So I'm around. Okay. Claude Code gave me some information. I'm gonna copy that and ask Claude LLM what it thinks about this information. Okay, it's telling me the dev server is up and running on localhost. So the app is live locally and ready to build more. We're in a good spot to start building out the core ticker search feature. That's the main MVP function with the weather forecast framing. Am I ready to craft a prompt for Claude Code to build the ticker search component that compares the stock's volatility against the S&P 500? Yes. Yes, I am ready for that prompt.
Brilliant, Nate. Your dev server is running at localhost 3000. Now we're cooking. Here's your prompt for Claude Code to build out the core ticker search feature with the weather forecast framing. Create a React component called ticker search that allows users to input a stock ticker symbol. When they search, fetch historical volatility and implied volatility data from Massive and AlphaVantage APIs. Display the volatility as a weather forecast analogy. For example, this stock is experiencing stormy conditions with high volatility, or market conditions are calm today. Compare the stock's volatility to the S&P 500 baseline volatility using a heat scale from 1 to 10. Show whether the stock is more or less volatile than the broader market. Include clear labels explaining what historical volatility means, past weather, and implied volatility means forecast. Keep the design simple and beginner friendly. Paste that in and let me know what Claude Code generates.
Yeah. I have another question. I have some guidelines about like the style that I want to use for this app. Does it matter if I give you those guidelines before the app starts to be built or after the app starts to be built?
Good question, Nate. I'd say give me those style guidelines now before we build the ticker search component. That way, Claude Code can bake them in from the start, rather than having to retrofit them later. It's much cleaner that way. What's your vision for the styling?
That is good to know. I should do that first. Um, okay, yeah, so now I know basically like while I'm planning the original prompt, I want to put in the styling guidelines I have, and then like I just got some new information about like some new sites to use for styling, and I thought I was gonna get to them today, but it looks like I did it in the wrong order, so I don't think that's gonna make sense right now for this. I'll do some more research on when I need to do those new websites to get the style better. But I think from what I was told when I was looking at the tutorial today was that I should do it like after the app is built. But yeah, I need to like understand that better now. Okay, so I'm going to the style guidelines. Yeah, Claude's written up a plan, ready to proceed. Oh yeah, so it's telling me to adjust the prompt I just gave it, but so you adjusted the prompt that I just gave to Claude Code. So my fault. I should have let you know about those style guidelines before. In this case, can you just give it another prompt for when it's done creating? Because it says it's about to start creating the structure and it's doing it right now. Do you think this is something that I could still do, or do you think it'll cause problems and then I should just not worry about it for this project and just focus on basically solving the problem that I want to solve, and I can like deal with style later if people are actually using the app?
Design guidelines sorted. Here's the thing. Claude Code is already building the structure right now, so ideally you'd want those guidelines in place before it starts. But honestly, it's not a deal breaker. What I'd suggest, let Claude Code finish what it's currently building, then give it a follow-up prompt with those exact guidelines you just shared. It'll refactor the styling and architecture to match your design system. That way, you've got consistency across all 30 apps without having to rebuild from scratch. The key bits it needs to know are the Tailwind dark mode palette, the traffic light codes, the beginner-friendly language, and that you're using Next.js with TypeScript. Once it's got those, it can apply them retroactively. Sound good?
Yeah, I'll let you know when it's done. And you can either create the prompt now or after I let you know when it's done, whatever you think is best.
Right. Brilliant question, Nate. Honestly, give those guidelines to Claude Code now before it finishes building. It's much better to bake in your design system and tone from the start, rather than retrofitting it later. Consistency across all 30 apps matters, and your bar, friend, test, and traffic light palette are genuinely clever frameworks. So go ahead and paste those guidelines into Claude Code as a new prompt. Tell it to apply them to the ticker search component it's about to build. That way, everything's aligned from day one. What's the status on the component build right now?
It's asking me if I want to proceed with basically looks like building the app to check for compilation errors. Not really sure what that means, but I'm just about to click yes on that. And I didn't realize if I can type in a prompt while it's still working. Is that a problem?
Nate. You should absolutely give me those before we build the ticker search component. They're essential, so Claude Code builds it correctly the first time with your design system, tone, and architecture in place. On the compilation check, yes, click yes on that. It's just making sure there are no errors in the code before you proceed. You can type prompts whilst it's working. It won't cause problems. Claude Code handles that fine. Once that compilation check finishes, I'll craft a prompt for the ticker search component that incorporates all your guidelines. The Tailwind dark theme, the traffic light palette, beginner-friendly language with that bar friend tone, and that 3-second aha moment visual you're after. Sound good?
Yeah, you already gave me a prompt with all that information. I just wanted to ask you to make sure that it's not gonna clash or cause problems with the rules or like instructions we already gave it. The main thing I'm thinking about is like it's like already designed to be like a weather forecast, and then I want to add in like the red, gold, and green, like the stoplight analogy, and I want to have both. So I want to have it, like if it's good, if it's like something that looks like it's a go for an investment, that it should be green, and if it's like bad or caution, then it should be red, and then somewhere in the middle should be yellow. Do you think that I can use the prompt that you already gave me, or based on what I'm just telling you right now, should you create a new prompt?
Right. So here's the thing, Nate. You've already got fantastic guidelines there, and they actually complement each other brilliantly rather than clash. The weather forecast framing and the traffic light palette work together perfectly. High volatility could be a yellow warning cloud. Low volatility could be green sunny skies, that sort of thing. Since Claude Code is currently building, I'd say let it finish what it's doing first. Then once it's done, I'll create a fresh prompt that incorporates both your design guidelines and the ticker search feature together. That way, everything gets built with consistency from the start, rather than retrofitting it later. Go ahead and click yes on that compilation check, and let me know when it's finished. Then we'll have Claude Code build the core ticker search with your full design system baked in.
Okay, I already clicked that and it says that it's finished, but I'm typing in a stock ticker and nothing is happening. Is that supposed to happen at this stage?
Right, Nate. Brilliant questions here. Let me sort through what's happening. First, on those style guidelines, absolutely give them to Claude Code now. They won't clash with what we've already built. They'll just layer on top and make everything consistent with your 30-day app vision. The weather forecast plus traffic light colors work perfectly together actually. Sunny and green means good volatility conditions. Stormy and red means risky, that sort of thing. On the stock ticker, not responding. That's expected at this stage. Claude Code just built the folder structure and basic React setup, but the API integration and ticker search logic aren't wired in yet. Nothing's broken. We just need to build that next. Here's what I'd suggest. Paste those style guidelines into Claude Code now as a new prompt. Let it apply Tailwind styling to the existing structure. Then we'll build the actual ticker search functionality with API calls after that. Sound good?
Yes, I'm about to repaste the style guidelines to you and then just create me a new prompt to give it.
Right, Nate. Brilliant thinking on those style guidelines. You've got a really solid vision here with the weather forecast plus the traffic light palette layered together. That's actually perfect because the weather forecast gives context and the color coding gives you that instant 3-second aha moment you're after. Here's the thing. Go ahead and paste those guidelines now while Claude Code is working. Once you do, I'll create a fresh prompt that incorporates both the ticker search functionality and your design system all at once. That way, it all builds cohesively from the start, rather than retrofitting styling later. The fact that nothing's happening when you type a ticker is expected at this.
Yeah, so now I'm giving it the guidelines on like how I want the app to look. I thought it was kind of strange that it's not working yet, but it's saying that that's totally normal. So yeah, it's running through these guidelines. I'm just gonna wait for it to finish, and then let it know what it generates. And I can definitely tell like this app, there's a lot more to it than the apps I did before. There's a lot more steps I'm using to like give it code. I'm guessing that's because I'm doing like not only like the volatility right now, but like a forecast. I've got 2 APIs. My other apps only had 1 API. Yeah, I'm just trying to build my energy up. Yeah, I can see that it's changing. Changing the appearance. Is still thundering. It says it's thundering, working. When I first started using Claude Code, when it was working, it would just say cooking. And it's like they updated it to like change the analogy for working. I don't know if there's any kind of like meaning behind what they're doing when they say thundering. But yeah, okay. So do I want to proceed to marinating? Yeah, I'm letting it marinate now. You know. So yeah, I see some new comments talking about what app am I building today. So you can see it says the volatility forecast, and it's a beginner investor tool. So it's helping beginner investors understand volatility. It's going to show like the current volatility, the volatility compared with index for looking at a stock, and the probable future volatility. And I decided to do it like a weather forecast to make it easier for beginners to understand. So basically, this eliminates beginners from having to learn how to read the VIX, learn how to like read charts, learn how volatility fits into everything, and how to like kind of calculate volatility. So essentially, when it's complete, you can put in your stock ticker, whatever stock you're considering you want to buy. It's going to give you some information in regards to volatility, to give you a better understanding of like if it's a good time to buy it, what the future of that stock price is most likely to do. And I'm also gonna, that's like the main function of the app. And when I finish that, I'm gonna add some functions that kind of like explain for beginners what's going on. So like if they want to learn more, if they want to have a better understanding, and this is just going to make it super easy, so beginners can cut through the hype. I feel like a lot of the financial information in the media doesn't really do a good job of explaining volatility. They just kind of talk about, if there's volatility currently, and when they do talk about, from what I remember about like future volatility, they don't really give like an explanation to why. It's just kind of like more like their opinion, I feel like. They're not really like looking at tools, or if they are, they're not explaining what tools they're looking at and why. So yeah, all these tools are really just helping people, mainly beginner investors, so that they can make better decisions and make more money, and we can get this money flowing to more people. Because right now, the way things work is, most of this money out here is really just like flowing to the like top 1%, or that number seems to be getting less every year. Now it's like the top like 0.1%, and yeah, there's so much money out here. So why not let everyone tap into that, so we can all be living better, so we don't have to like spend all our time working, and we can take more breaks, and we can enjoy life more, and retire earlier, and not feel like we have to like not miss a day of work to be able to put food on the table, or whatever people want to use it for. Maybe somebody's already good with money, and they're just looking to get into how to invest it and how to make more. Whatever works in the abundance mindset that the person has. That's the main thing, is having that right mindset. So looks like this is done. I'm about to tell Claude what it did, and okay, Claude Code has changed the appearance of the.
Everything.
And Gemini is way better, way better for the text. Gemini has it so like it never seems to cut me off in Gemini, because it doesn't just like randomly go off when it thinks you're done talking. Gemini, you have to like click the button when you're done talking. For this part of the build, I like Claude better, but yeah, it's the most annoying thing is like it'll cut me off mid-sentence, and then it's starting to kind of like repeat itself because it doesn't understand what I'm asking, because it won't like let me finish talking. And then I'm guessing because like I'm getting close to like using the amount of RAM up, that it's kind of like shaky when it starts talking. So yeah, looking at a comment, the guy's saying that he always struggles to know that his Vibecode app will break someday. How can you be 100% sure that it won't break? What's my strategy? Any specific development workflow? Well, so I'm a beginner, and I'm trying to like show people like how anybody could like be a beginner and start building apps. And the main thing I think with anything in life is like you can never be 100% sure about anything, right? Like just like what I'm doing with investing. Like I think a lot of the media tries to tell people, like tries to make it sound like they're 100% sure about everything, like why a stock went up or down that day, like what it's going to do in the future, like what global impacts are going to do with the market. But you never know for sure. All you can do is take the information that you have and then get a more like likely idea of how something's going to work out. So from what I understand, like of course with mass adoption, like right now these apps are only being used by me, and then when I check Google Analytics, I'm seeing that maybe like two or three other people, probably from like the stream that they're watching it, are using it. But yeah, I guess like if one of these apps takes off, it's most likely going to break down. But that's just going to be another learning opportunity for me. So like that's a good problem. Like I feel like that's like a really good problem, and I'm just having an abundance mindset that like, I want to learn more. I want these apps to grow, and when they grow, there's going to be growing pains, and I'm going to have to solve them. But that's just going to teach me, and that's just going to show me like I'm getting to the next step. So like, yeah, I can never be 100% sure. Everything, even while I'm building it, has been running into problems and breaking. But when those problems happen, that is giving me like the best learning experiences. And as far as like a specific development workflow, I'm giving the AI LLM kind of like some guidelines based on like the style that I want it to be, and I'm trying to remember to let it know with each new app that basically like I'm building this for most likely mass adoption. And even the LLMs are telling me like, okay, well, I'll do what I can for that, but basically like if a lot of people start using it, you're probably going to run into problems in the future. And there's nothing I can really do about that other than like approach the problem as it happens and then basically like deal with it then. So yeah, like I said, that's a good problem. Like that is a great problem. And if nobody uses the apps, then I guess I'll never have that problem probably. But yeah, I'm building apps for people to use and get value from. And it's just more learning experience opportunities for me. So yeah, hey Cherry Playlist, welcome to the stream. Living the dream, if you know what I mean. Every day something new, working on my own goals and dreams, so I'm just like doing my best and leaving the rest. And looking at what Claude is saying. Oh yeah, Claude cut me off and I had to is giving me a prompt, but I didn't. Oh yeah, so it was asking me what it generated with the style last time. I tried telling it and it cut me off and just gave me the prompt that incorporates everything. So I'm just going to put that in. Yeah, I mean, I'm just really feeling like blessed that that I have the opportunity to create these great things with AI. So many good ideas, and my main problem as an entrepreneur for so many years, I've always had the same problem. Is that my main problem has always been that I have too many good ideas, and I know that like you want to have laser focus on one thing at a time. Like the more you spread out your focus, the more you spread your mind out onto different projects, the less energy is going to go into each project. So the best thing to do is like find the most important thing, the highest priority thing, and focus on that, and then only focus on like the highest priority thing for that one thing. And I still struggle with that. Like I still get good ideas every day that I'm like, okay, I don't have time for this, is a good idea. But now I'm finding that I can really like focus on more ideas. Like I'm getting these ideas like completed. I mean, in the past, like I had, I'd get an idea for an app, and then I'd just like look into what I'd have to do to get it completed and how much it would cost, and then I'd like be like, man, that's a lot, and spend months thinking about it. And now it's like just build it in a day. So yeah, it looks weird, like I'm getting these problems, but Claude is still working, so hopefully it like automatically fixes it. And that's what I think it is doing. Right now it's moving faster than it usually does. So yeah. So yeah, you're saying that's a good mindset, no doubt. Build first, some progress is greater than no progress. For a long time I didn't build anything for the same reason. No doubt. So yeah, hopefully you can get inspired by me and what I'm doing and see how like any beginner, because like I was saying before, I'm like this is like day 5 of this challenge that I'm doing, and I spent about a month just like learning how this works, how code works, different types of code, and I did not know anything about coding, anything about building apps, any of this stuff. And the reason I really got inspired to do this was I saw there's a couple other people that are doing similar challenges, but they seem like they're already like experienced like developers, So they're explaining what they're doing, but they're just at like such a higher level that I don't understand, like, 80-90% of what they're talking about. So I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. I should do this, like I like this idea, this challenge. I want to do this anyway. And I'm doing it like as like a beginner. So hopefully like other people who haven't built anything yet can see that, like, okay, here's what this guy's doing. He just a month ago had no idea of any of this, never coded before, and like what you can watch my stream, you can see the problems that I run into, you can see what I'm doing to solve them. Cause I mean, like I remember like the first like maybe 2 or 3 days, like I was running into problems that I couldn't solve, and like part of me was saying like, this is difficult. Maybe I should just give up and like finish it tomorrow. But no, this is good. Like this is good that I had this goal, because then it's like, no, I'll just stick with it. I'll get it, and I have every time. Like even though I haven't been able to get to, like, I plan on doing some marketing after I finish the app, and I haven't been able to really like have time to get to that marketing. It's cool because I'm just doing, like, I understand marketing already. That's the one thing as an entrepreneur, like, that I've been always really passionate about before coding is and building stuff, is just the marketing. So yeah, once I have all these, once I get some time and I'm getting my process of creating these apps lower, and I have more energy when I finish the app that I can do some marketing on live stream, then I can just like market kind of all the apps at once and go online and like find my target audience, and basically just give them advice on like how I can help them and provide value, and provide them with the links to the apps, and then they're set up with Google Analytics, so then I can just check to see, after I create 30 apps, I'll check the analytics on all of them, and I'll have a much better idea of which ones are being used and which ones aren't. Yeah, I feel like this is the longest that Claude Code has been working. um, I do not feel anxious, but I don't understand why. So like if it's, I'm jumping up and down because I've been standing and sitting for a couple hours now, and I want to build energy. Cause yeah, like I like to move a lot. I get better ideas and I flow better like when I move. And yeah, wintertime out here, I don't get out, get fresh air as much, so I just try to keep the energy flowing and keep moving. Um, but yeah, no, I do not feel anxious. I feel anxious I wouldn't say anxious, but I'm excited to see that the snow is finally hitting in the mountains after a very, very dry year. maybe like the least snow I remember in my lifetime. And yeah, it looks like in the next week or two, finally gonna start to get a decent base of snow so I can like get out there and then like get back on my board. Um, Only been out snowboarding one day this year. Been out snow skating maybe like 3 or 4 times. Mostly this winter I've just been climbing. So yeah, I move around a lot. Like I know that like energy is major. Um, Building energy. I get my best ideas, man. Like I've found like, you know, like when I work on business stuff, I'll run into problems and stuff, and sometimes the best thing to do is just like go out in nature and get fresh air and exercise and just forget about it. Like forget about what my problems are and just be in like mountain biking, snowboarding, do something to where like, you know, I need 100% focus on what I'm doing or I could be in trouble. So anyways, what happens then is when I clear my mind with all that stuff, like the answers, the solutions, they just like pop in my head, like when I least expect it, when I'm not even thinking about it. So yeah, right now just building some energy while Claude is bootstrapping, and it's been running for 7 minutes 45 seconds, taking up about 17,000. Oh, it's done. Worked for 7 minutes 48 seconds, and saying run the dev server and let me see it. All right, let's do it. I want to proceed, yes. Okay, it says dev server is running. I got the browser open. And try to refresh it and hopefully these error messages go away. Yeah, okay. Take a screenshot and show me what it looks like. I've never had it ask me to do that before, so I'm guessing it wants. I don't understand why Claude Code would want to know what it looks like because it should know. But anyways, I'm gonna ask Claude LLM what that like. What's going on with that?
Now.
Hello, Claude, are you listening? Okay, so it ran for a while and it looks like it created everything. I haven't gone over the full page or site to see if everything's working right, but I have a question first. It says the dev server is running, and underneath in the bar where like I post the prompts for what it to do, its next like prompt that it has written already says it wants me to take a screenshot and show me what it looks like. So I know how to take a screenshot. I probably can't get the entire screen in one shot, but is it saying it wants me to like paste the screenshot image or images into the like taskbar or whatever you would call it that I type into in Claude Code, or that I should give it to like you, the Claude LLM?
Right, Nate. Brilliant question. Claude Code is asking you to take a screenshot so it can see what the app actually looks like on your screen. That helps it understand if anything needs tweaking or fixing visually. You should paste the screenshot directly into Claude Code's chat. That's the taskbar where you type prompts. Claude Code can see images you share with it and will give you feedback or make adjustments based on what it sees. Go ahead and take a screenshot of your app running at localhost 3000, then paste it into Claude Code. If you can't get the whole page in one shot, take a couple of screenshots, top half and bottom half, and paste both. Claude Code will understand and work with what you've got. Let me know what it looks like once you've shared the screenshots.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Learning something new. I never did this before. So this will be very interesting. Like from what I understood it, like it already could like look at it because it created it, but I guess not. So not sure how this is gonna help, but I guess I'm about to find out. So yeah, I just took a screenshot. Like I opened the what you call it, the browser or this site, the local site on my actual like browser because I couldn't get the whole screen captured on the browser preview on Cursor. So I guess I don't know how to paste the image though. I've never pasted an image into. Okay, I took.
And take those screenshots now. Snap the top half and bottom half of your app at localhost 3000. Then paste them both into Claude Code. It'll see what's actually rendering and can give you feedback or make adjustments from there. Once you've done that, let me know what Claude Code says.
Okay, I did that. I took a screenshot. I got one shot with the whole site. I went on to Claude Code and I tried like right clicking to like see if there was an option to go into a file and find the screenshot, and that did not work. So basically I'm trying to understand how to give that screenshot to Claude Code.
Right, Nate. Good instinct trying to find it. Here's the thing. In Claude Code, you can't browse your file system to paste screenshots directly. Instead, you need to use your operating system's screenshot tool to copy the image to your clipboard, then paste it directly into the Claude Code chat box where you type prompts. Here's how. Take a screenshot using your system's built-in tool, Print Screen on Windows, Command-Shift-4 on Mac, that copies it to your clipboard. Then in Claude Code's chat, just paste it directly like you would paste text. Use Control-V on Windows or Command-V on Mac. It should appear as an image in the chat. Give that a go and let me know if it works.
Okay, first I just had a window pop up from Microsoft OneDrive asking me if I want to delete these items. It's saying review the 21,422 items before they are deleted. I don't know why this just popped up. Should I keep the items or delete the items?
Right. Don't delete those OneDrive items, Nate. Click keep or cancel on that. That's unrelated to what we're doing, and you don't want to accidentally delete anything important. On sharing the screenshot with Claude Code, you should be able to just paste the image directly into the text box where you type prompts in Claude Code. On most systems, you can screenshot, copy it to your clipboard, then paste it into the chat box. Try that. It should work straight away. Once you've got the screenshot pasted in, Claude Code will see what your app looks like and can give you feedback or make adjustments.
Okay, I'm still confused on this screenshot thing. So I hit Control V to try and get it as like text, but then when I go to Claude Code, like I can't right click and like paste anything from what I see. I don't really know like how to get this screenshot into the Claude Code.
Right, Nate, let me sort through both of these things quickly. First, on the OneDrive pop-up, absolutely do not delete those items. Just close that window. That's unrelated to what you're building right now. On the screenshot for Claude Code, it's actually simpler than you think. In Claude Code's chat window where you type prompts, you should be able to just paste the screenshot directly using Control-V. If that's not working, try clicking in the text input area first to make sure it's focused, then paste again. Alternatively, you can describe what you see on the screen to Claude Code in words. Tell it what the app looks like, if there are any errors showing, what colors are displaying, that sort of thing. Claude Code can work with a verbal description if pasting isn't cooperating. What does the app actually look like right now? Is it displaying anything, or is there an error?
It's not displaying anything. It just says take a screenshot and show me what it looks like. I thought what you were saying is to use Control-V to take the screenshot. I took the screenshot. Usually I take it a different way by pressing like Windows, Shift, and S. So I already did that. Are you saying that I should hit Control-V in the Claude Code window and then that will paste the screenshot that I already took?
On the OneDrive thing first, don't delete those items, Nate. That's probably your project files. Just close that pop-up and ignore it for now. On the screenshot, yes, exactly. You've already taken the screenshot with Windows Shift S, so it's copied to your clipboard. Now go into Claude Code's chat window, where you type prompts, and just press Control-V. That'll paste the screenshot directly into the chat. Claude Code will see the image and can give you feedback. Try that now. Control-5 in the Claude Code chat box, and the screenshot should appear.
Okay, so I hit Control-V and then I hit enter. Didn't seem like it pasted anything, but Claude Code is getting back to me and saying that it does not have the ability to take screenshots of browser windows or render web pages visually. I would need to open the local host in my browser to see it. The dev server is running and ready. Just paste that URL into Chrome and I should see the Darkslate dashboard with the search bar at the top. And yeah, I'm seeing what it says I should be seeing. The app is still not functioning. Like when I type in a ticker, it's not giving me any information or showing the VIX level yet. But yeah, it doesn't seem like I'm able to paste that screenshot into Claude Code.
Right, so a couple of things here, Nate. First, ignore that OneDrive pop-up. Don't delete anything. Just close it and move on. On the screenshot issue, Claude Code can't actually see images you paste directly into it like that. What it meant was for you to describe what you're seeing or open localhost 3000 in your browser so you can visually check if the design looks right. Sounds like you've already done that. You're seeing the dark dashboard with the search bar, which is brilliant. On the ticker search not working yet, that's expected. The UI is built, but the API integration isn't wired up properly yet. Here's what I'd suggest. Go back to Claude Code and give it a prompt asking it to wire up the API calls in the services folder. So the ticker search actually fetches volatility data from Massive and Alpha Vantage when you type a ticker. Want me to craft that prompt for you?
Yes, please do.
Right, got it, Nate. So, Claude Code can't actually see screenshots directly. It needs you to describe what you're seeing or manually check the browser. That's fair enough. On the OneDrive pop-up, ignore that for now. Just click cancel or close it. Not related to your app, probably just a sync issue. Here's the key thing. The app is displaying the dark dashboard with the search bar, which means the styling is working. But the ticker search isn't functioning yet, because we haven't wired up the API calls to Massive and Alpha Vantage. That's the next step. Here's what I need you to do. In Claude Code, ask it to create the API service layer that connects to Massive and Alpha Vantage. Then integrate those API calls into the ticker search component, so when you type a ticker, it actually fetches volatility data and displays the results. Want me to write that prompt for you?
Yes, write that prompt.
Right, Nate, let me sort through a few things here. On the OneDrive pop-up, just click Keep Items and ignore that for now. It's unrelated to what we're building. On the screenshot issue, Claude Code can't actually see images the way I can. What you need to do is just describe what you're seeing on localhost 3000 in your browser, or paste the...
Alright, I don't know why the Claude LLM has never been this repetitive. Like, it keeps telling me things that it already told me at the start of each chat. And then it's trying to tell me how other sites are being redundant. So I'm not sure what this is about, but yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, so now basically what it's telling me is like the site is built as far as like the design and everything and like the buttons, but like now I'm giving it a prompt so that it should just like hook up the API keys to the site. Like I already gave it the information for the API keys. Weird. So it's telling me that the .env local file has placeholder API keys. Do I have real API keys to paste in? And I did already paste those in. Maybe like I didn't save them or something. But yeah, I'll just try repasting them. Making sure that they're in the right folder. Like I put them in the right folder, I thought, but anyways, yeah, I gotta cover the screen up for that. So yeah, let's see. Alright, so env local file. Yeah, no, I definitely pasted the API keys there before, but they're not there now. So I'm guessing maybe I need to like hit a save button or something. I'm about to ask Claude Code about that.
Happens.
Claude Code is telling me that the API keys are not there. I did already paste them in, and I just went back to that folder and it shows that they're not pasted there anymore. So maybe did I need to like click something to save it or something?
Right. So that's the issue .env file needs to be saved properly. When you pasted your API keys into it earlier, you might not have actually saved the file. Try this. Open the .env file in Claude Code, paste your API keys in again, then make sure you save it, usually Control S on Windows or Command S on Mac. Once you've saved it properly, the dev server should pick up those keys, and Claude Code can access them when it runs the API calls. Try that, and let me know if the keys are still there after you save.
Okay, yeah, this time I did click the right buttons to save it, and I told Claude Code that I did save the keys, and it's telling me basically that looks like it says, do I want to proceed to restart Next.js dev server with real API keys?
Absolutely click yes on that. Claude Code is asking if you want to restart the dev server, so it picks up your API keys from the .env file. That's exactly what you want to do. Once you click yes, the server will restart with your massive and alpha vantage keys loaded. And then the ticker search should actually start fetching volatility data when you type in a stock symbol. Go ahead and click yes.
Alright, so I just thought of a new question for Claude. Basically, like, I pasted the API keys in before, and I just didn't save them, so that was the problem. Like, I had to click save after I pasted them in into that folder. But here's my new question for Claude Code. I just thought of a random question. I have used Alpha Vantage API keys for 2 other apps now, and I'm wondering how this works in regards to getting a new API key each day from Alpha Vantage for a new app. Is it better to get a new API key for each new app, or is it better to keep using the same API key for each new app, or does it matter?
Brilliant questions here, Nate. First things first, yes, click yes on that restart. Next.js dev server prompt, that'll restart with your real API keys loaded in, which is what you want. On the Alpha Vantage API key question, you can absolutely use the same API key across multiple apps. That's totally fine and actually cleaner. Each key has its own rate limits, so as long as you're not hammering one key with tons of requests simultaneously across apps, you're golden. One key per email is standard practice, so just stick with the one you've got. Go ahead and click yes on that restart, then test typing a ticker into the search bar. Should work, now that the keys are properly loaded.
Okay, so since I have used a different API key for each app, I'm just wondering for the future, is that gonna like lead to any problems? It sounds like you're saying it won't, And it sounds like you're saying that I can use the same API key as long as I'm not basically running multiple apps at the same time, but I am creating multiple apps, and I would imagine that if people actually use them in the future, they will be ran at the same time.
Right, brilliant. Yes, click yes on that restart. That'll get the dev server running with your actual API keys now. On the Alpha Vantage API key question, you can absolutely use the same key across multiple apps. The rate limit is per key, not per app. So if you've got different keys for each app, that's fine. You'll just have separate rate limits for each. But honestly, using one key across all your apps is simpler and cleaner. The only issue comes if you hit the rate limit on that single key. But at the free tier, there's only 5 calls per minute, which is plenty for development. For your 30-day project where people might eventually use multiple apps simultaneously, I'd suggest consolidating to 1 or 2 master API keys once you launch publicly. That way, you can monitor usage and upgrade tiers together. Go ahead and click yes on that restart. Then we'll see if the ticker search starts working with the live API keys.
So yeah, Claude is telling me that like having one API key across different apps is simpler and cleaner, but also that like there's a limit for each API key for the free tier. And honestly, like if I need to, I'm thinking all I would have to do is just like go into each file folder for each app. Once I get the paid tier, if they give me like one API key, and then just like copy and paste the new API key over the old API key. So yeah, that helped me like kind of understand better what's going on here. So on to the next thing. It looks like I'm getting kind of like an error message. I'm covering up my screen because I'm dealing with like checking to make sure the API keys are still there. And I saved it, and this time they're still there. But it looks like something about I need to restart the dev server for the new values to take effect. So I'm going to copy and paste that. Or actually, I'll just read it to Claude Code so that way I can like add more context. Okay, it's showing that the keys are still there, so they must have been saved right this time. But I'm getting an update from Claude Code saying that basically, are you updating your API keys in the right file? If I change them, which I never changed them, but I made sure to save them this time, I'll need Claude Code to restart the dev server again for the new values to take effect. And then it's kind of got some text that's already in the box that says, I updated the keys, restart the server. I'm guessing that's what I should do, but I just wanted to check with you first to make sure.
Right, 2 things here, Nate. On using different API keys for each app, honestly, it doesn't matter much. You can use the same key across all 30 apps or different keys. Both work fine. The rate limit is per key, so if people use multiple apps simultaneously, you might hit rate limits faster with one shared key. But for now, don't worry about it. You can always consolidate keys later when you merge everything into one hub. On Claude Code, asking to restart the server. Yes, absolutely click that button or type yes. Claude Code is saying it detected your keys were saved and wants to restart the dev server so it picks them up properly. That's exactly what you want. Go ahead and restart it. Once that restarts, try typing a stock ticker into the search bar and see if you get volatility data back.
So yeah, the VIX is also like called the Fear and Greed Index. Oh, still typing into Claude Code. I don't want to do that. Anyway, so yeah, the VIX is also called the Fear and Greed Index. So it's showing here like a 72 extreme greed, and that's in green. And basically, I think that there's a problem here because that shouldn't be good. Like in investing, you want to be like, it's the way people phrase it is, you want to be greedy when most people are fearful, and fearful when most people are greedy. So if the VIX is showing that there's a lot of greed right now in the market, then I'm thinking that should be like that should be red. It looks like Claude Code like just kind of froze up and stopped working. Alright, yeah, here's a new issue. I've never... never seen it just stop like this and then close down the browser, so... I just copied and pasted the most recent information on Claude Code, but it looks like it froze up because the connection failed on the browser, and now it's like it stopped running at 34 seconds and 199 tokens, and I'm not sure what to do because I've never seen this happen before.
Right. So Claude Code is just cleaning up old processes on the port and restarting the dev server. That's normal. It looks like it hit a hiccup at 34 seconds. Give it a moment, then try refreshing localhost 3000 in your browser to see if the app loads. If it doesn't load after a refresh or two, Claude Code might need a full restart. You can tell Claude Code to kill all node processes and restart fresh if needed. Just ask it to restart the dev server from scratch, and it'll handle that. Try refreshing your browser first and let me know what happens.
Alright, so yeah, I told it what it told me to do, and it just gave me another error message, so I just copied and pasted that error message into Claude LLM. Oh, I think I see what I did wrong. I think I typed it into like the bottom where it's supposed to be like the PowerShell, so I didn't put it in through Claude Code. Okay. Yep. So it's saying that's a PowerShell syntax error from Claude Code trying to run a command with square brackets. Nothing to worry about. Just wait a moment. I see. Okay, so now I'm gonna try to copy and paste that into the Claude Code box. I think I scrolled too far down on the screen and whoa. Weird. It's weird because like I tried to manually type it in because like I copied it, but it was like missing. So I'm just gonna try manually typing it. Yeah, why is it doing that? Still same error thing. Yeah, this is weird because like something's going on where it won't let me type now into Okay, so I tried retyping that and it gave me the same error message, but the bar where I usually type information into Claude Code, it's like it's not accepting the prompts that I'm giving it, and then the prompts just are like written underneath, so it looks like it's just like writing it straight to the like the PowerShell, and it's not like giving the information to Claude Code. I don't know, I could be wrong, but that's what I think is going on. That's what I think the problem is.
I see what happened, Nate. You accidentally typed into PowerShell instead of Claude Code's chat box. That's why you're getting those syntax errors. PowerShell is trying to interpret your text as commands instead of Claude Code receiving it as a prompt. Here's what to do. Ignore that PowerShell error. Just close that terminal window or click back into Claude Code's actual chat interface where you normally type prompts. Then give Claude Code a simple prompt like restart the dev server, and it should spin things back up cleanly. Does that make sense? Try clicking back into Claude Code's chat box and giving it that restart prompt.
So you want me to hit the trash icon to close this terminal, then open up a new terminal, restart Claude, and then give it that prompt?
Right. So what's happening here, Nate? You're typing into PowerShell directly instead of into Claude Code's chat box. That's why it's throwing parser errors. Claude Code has its own separate chat interface where you type prompts. Here's what to do. Yes, close that terminal by clicking the trash icon or closing the window. Then in Claude Code itself, find the chat input box at the bottom of the screen. That's where you type prompts to Claude Code, not in PowerShell. Once you've got the right chat box open in Claude Code, just type a simple prompt like restart the dev server, and it should handle it properly. Give that a go, and let me know.
Before I do that, I wanted to make sure that I don't close it and delete everything because it is frozen, so I cannot type into the Claude chat, and this is the only terminal window I have open. So if I close this, I will be closing the Claude Code terminal, and then I would just need to start a new terminal and then restart Claude and then run that. That's okay that I do that. It's not gonna like delete anything, will it?
Right, Nate, don't panic. What's happened is the terminal got stuck, and you're typing into PowerShell directly instead of Claude Code's chat. That's not deleting anything, just a bit stuck. Here's what to do. Yes, close that terminal window. It won't delete your project files. They're safely on your computer. Then open a new terminal, navigate back to your volatility forecast folder, and restart Claude Code from scratch. Once you've got a fresh Claude Code terminal open, you can give it a prompt to restart the dev server cleanly. Your code and .env file are all safe. Closing the terminal just closes the interface, not your files. Go ahead and close that window, then restart. You'll be fine.
Okay, so I just saw something pop up in Claude Code talking about I've used 98% of something. I couldn't finish reading it before it disappeared off the screen. I'm guessing that's like my usage for Claude Code. So maybe that's why it stopped, because it's just letting me know like I'm at the end of my usage. Do you know what happens if I go over this usage?
Here. That PowerShell error you're seeing means the terminal got confused and started treating your prompt as a command instead of passing it to Claude Code. That's why it froze. On the 98% usage you mentioned, that's likely your Claude Code session token budget. Once you hit 100%, Claude Code will stop responding until your session resets or you start a new one. Here's what I'd suggest. Close that terminal window. It won't delete anything, I promise. Your project files are all safe on disk. Then open a fresh terminal, restart Claude Code and try again. The project is fine, the terminal just got stuck. Go ahead and close that terminal and start fresh. Let me know once you've got a new one open.
Yeah, I got a new terminal open. It looks like I put Apple in the search bar and it's showing me the volatility forecast. So I think it's complete, but also I'm wondering like maybe it didn't finish completing the last prompt. I'm not sure, but I mean it looks like everything is working, so I'm just gonna go through and like try all the different features on this app.
Brilliant, Nate. So a couple things here. The PowerShell error you saw was because you accidentally pasted the prompt into the terminal window instead of Claude Code's chat. That's why it froze. But the good news is you've got a fresh terminal open now, and the app is actually working. On the usage warning you saw at 98%, that's your Claude Code session token usage, not your API keys. It just means you're near the end of that particular coding session, but it doesn't delete anything. You can start a fresh Claude Code session whenever you want. And brilliant. AAPL is showing in the search bar and displaying volatility data. That means the API integration is working. Go ahead and test a few different tickers to see the weather forecast and heat gauge in action. Let me know what you think of how it's displaying the data.
Yeah, so it looks like it completed most of it, but like some of it isn't working. And let's see here. Alright, so what I'm doing is checking out what is going on with what it completed, and like it's showing me like to learn the basic stuff. Saying what the VIX is. Okay, so like when the VIX is high above 30, traders expect stormy conditions. When it's low below 15, the market expects calm waters ahead. Understanding a stock's energy level helps you decide how much to invest. A stock with high volatility can potentially move 2 to 3% in a single day, so you may want to invest less per position to manage your exposure. Uh, for the most part, I like what it's doing. I think what might have happened is like it was working on it, and then like it got to the limit, and then it stopped. So I'm gonna, let's see. Going into settings right now to see in Claude LLM usage. Current session restarts in 1 hour 52 minutes, 91% used. Weekly limits 39% used. Says current balance is $50, but I think that's the like free $50 I got. I'm gonna need Claude to explain this to me better, I think. But yeah, I'm starting to get to where like I'm gonna need to upgrade, I think, and see, I just gotta remember what this says. So the plan usage is 91% used, weekly limits is 39% used. The main thing I don't understand is like my current balance is $50. It's a $50 monthly spending limit, so maybe like I just hit that. It's asking me if I want to buy more. Alright. I'm going to try and take a screenshot of this and give it to Claude LLM. But maybe if I remember correctly, cannot. See it. Volume. Yeah, so like I got, okay, here we go. Now it's showing me the right chat. Alright, let me see if I can paste. Paste that screenshot. Awesome. Yeah, so Claude LLM, I took a screenshot of like my usage page and settings for Claude LLM. So I'm trying to figure out like it seemed like I hit some kind of like limit and it just kind of like stopped. So I'm at 91% of my current usage setting, which resets in an hour, almost 2 hours. That's totally fine. Means I'm near the end of this particular chat session. It doesn't affect the app or the API keys. The app is working. I got Apple displaying on the weather forecast. What would I like to do next? I want to still understand, like, okay. Okay, could you explain more about like how usage works? It looks like I'm at about 90%, but when I look at the bottom, it says there's a limit of $50, and I think under that it says like amount used $50. I also clicked a link to get a free $50 credit, so I'm not sure how that plays into this. Could you explain what that means? Is that saying that I can go a limit of $50 over my plan usage and then it will stop? Is that what that's saying?
Right. So that's your Claude API usage, Nate. Not Claude Code specifically. Here's how it works. You've got a $50 monthly limit set on your Claude API account. You're currently at 90% of that $50, which means you've used about $45 worth of API calls so far this month. The free $50 credit you just claimed adds another $50 on top, so you've now got $100 total to work with before hitting any limits. Once you go over that $100, Claude will stop responding until your billing cycle resets or you increase your limit. For your volatility forecast app, that's plenty of headroom to build and test. You're golden. Now, more importantly, how's the app looking? Is the weather forecast displaying properly for AAPL? What do the volatility results look like?
It looks like everything is working right. Like when I search for a ticker, I search for Apple and it shows up. I'm about to search for another one and see what happens. I'm looking for Coinbase. I typed in COIN and it's not showing the ticker for Coinbase. So I can't select that one, so that's kind of strange. I'm about to try Nike and it's not showing the ticker for Nike. So like I clicked enter after I typed in NKE for Nike and it's not doing anything. So I don't know why that's not working, but it looks like it's giving all the right information for Apple. But I'm also not sure if it like, when it froze up, it was still working on something and it just didn't get to complete what it was doing.
Right, Nate. Brilliant questions here. Let me untangle both.
Oh yeah, Claude's getting slow. Okay. So on the app not working for some tickers, that's expected at this stage. The search is probably only recognizing major tickers that are in the initial data set or API responses. Nike should work as NKE. Coinbase might need the correct symbol. The fact that Apple works perfectly is brilliant. Here's what I suggest. Test a few more major tickers like Microsoft. Alright. Yeah, Microsoft worked. I'll try it. So Coinbase not working. Yeah, weird. Like Nike should be in there. Nike's like a major stock. Okay. Try refreshing it. Yeah, that's weird. So this is not working right. Like it's mostly working, but try Tesla. Yeah, it's not even showing that. So I think I think that it did not finish, like when it froze, it did not finish what it was doing. That's what it's saying. Okay. Alright, cool. So basically, when I type in those tickers, Microsoft showed up, but like Tesla, Nike, anything else I tried is not showing up. And I think what's going on is, like you said, it did not finish what it was doing from that last prompt when it froze up. So what would I want to do in this case if it does that and freezes up like halfway through a prompt? Okay, so what I'm doing right now, it looked like Claude froze up. I must be at my usage limit. So I'm just upgrading my usage to Claude Code right now, and I'm just gonna go with the max plan, and get 20 times more usage and save 50%, because the pro plan is 5 times more usage. And if I've already used that much just from a few days of doing this, then I know I'm gonna might as well just go with the max plan right now. Creating my usage to max. Awesome, welcome to max. Alright, cool. Yeah, just reset all my limits. So now, hopefully, alright, alright, cool. Okay, so I just upgraded to the max plan, and as far as the tickers, I'm not able to access other tickers like I should. Microsoft worked, Tesla didn't work, Coinbase didn't work, Nike didn't work. I tried like one or two others and they didn't work either. I'm guessing what happened was when it froze up, it was not finished what it was doing. So what do you think I should do now? Claude's freezing. I told it froze and didn't answer. And it froze again. Okay. I'm just gonna close out a Claude and start up a new window. Yeah, I'm getting hungry though. I feel like this is like almost good enough. I'm so close. Yeah, this is definitely like the most difficult app I've had to build. Good thing I built those other ones first. This is definitely like upgrading each time. Um, the other apps it created so easily. Okay, I tried basically those other tickers and only Microsoft worked. None of the other tickers I tried worked. I told you that I think the problem is that it froze up in the middle of the last process, and then I asked you what I should do, and then you froze up and you never got me back an answer, so I just closed that window and opened up a new one. What should I do? Yeah, Claude is freezing up on me, having problems. Okay. Yeah, Claude's not getting back to me anymore. Man, I really don't want to have to stop right now, but I don't know what else I can do. It's like the thing is created. Uh, Man. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna have to stop. I gotta eat anyway. This is crazy. Like, I got so close. This is the only one. Like, it's so close to being done. Only one I wasn't able to finish in one day. I mean, technically, it's built. It's just like a few bugs I need to get out. So, man, I updated and everything. Updated my usage. I don't even know that was necessary if it was just like Claude's having problems. But yeah, you can't expect everything to go smooth all the time. So I think usually what I do in these circumstances, when I run into a problem like this, is I just let it go. I just walk away from it for a while and do something else, and then come back to it when I'm like give it some time to kind of like figure itself out. Sometimes the best thing to do is to do nothing. And I think that's what I should do right now. So yeah, I got the app close to being built. I'll have to start off the next session with fixing the bug on this app, whatever's not working, and then push it live, give it to you guys so you can try it, and then start the next app. But yeah, I would still say this is a success. I got this done. Just a few bugs in it. It's definitely working. Like when I type in Apple, and that's weird that like if you can see it's like showing. Usually it should be like showing Apple at the top, but I have to select it right there. So like it's working. But there's just some things I want to change on it, and then I would want to like push it to GitHub and make it live. But because Claude has stopped working, especially after I like gave it more money, and anyways, yeah, I'm gonna be using it a lot anyway, so it's all good. Get it figured out. So yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Unfortunately, I can't really do anything more right now. I think, yeah, I'm just gonna have to come back tomorrow and like pick up where I left off. But I definitely will be able to get this done tomorrow to fix these bugs and then get it live so you guys can check it out and then get a new app done tomorrow. Yeah, enjoy the journey. Everything is great. Everything's good. Doing what I could. So everybody have a good night. I'm out. Without a doubt.